Right. Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm your charming, self-proclaimed, yet still humble host, Mukluk, and today is Guild Wars Tuesday. We are jumping back into the wonderful world of Tyria to hang out in Guild Wars 2. Currently connected to the EU servers, visiting our friends from across the pond. And also, there is a new blog post on the upcoming Janthir content. The final chapter, the final major chapter of the Janthir Wilds is coming out 1 week from today, for those who are out of the loop. How's your health now? Mostly back to normal. My voice is still feels a little scratchy, but I think part of that is the fact that I never really take a full day off, you know? So like Friday I came down with something and one of the symptoms was like my throat was killing me. And then Sunday I did a 12-hour stream. I took Monday morning off, but then, you know, last night I streamed, and plus Rose, Rose was there for a collab, and I kept having to yell at him, so that made my voice worse again, and then slept on it, now it's a little better. So, I'm not, all the other symptoms I had, the sneezing, the coughing, all the other flu-like symptoms, like, those are done, we're good, we're better. The voice is still taking time to recover. Are you going to continue BG3 Honor on evenings? Yeah. The current, so when we're not doing something else besides like Mutiny Monday and Guild Wars Tuesday and things like that, the current schedule is the Age of Wonders Giant Kings playthrough in the mornings, and the evenings is Doom the Dark Ages and the Baldur's Gate Honor Mode playthrough until one of those are done. I missed a Rose collab stream. Yeah, if you want to check the VOD from last night, it's there. Rose took the life out of you? Dude. He's a great guy, but I was so mad at him last night. Let's see. So I messed... That's right, we gave away a Klob Jarny the other day. So I had Klob Jarny equipped just to show it off, so I need to fix this build. Because it is messed up. Is this Force and Impact? Yeah, this one was Force and Impact. Beep. Muk Expedition 33 sold 3.3 million copies 33 days after launch. It's almost like they planned it. Very nice. Why am I typing Expedition 33? You messed me up. Impact. Impact is what I want to type. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Wardrobe. Where is it? Red Witch. That's the one I like. It's got some heft to it. That's the one we like. Alright, I'm just imagining the whole night with all the beeps like they do on TV. No, I don't have a friggin' Noxxi to censor my live streams. There was no beeps. That's the problem. Have you seen the trailer? No, I haven't. We'll get to it soon. Take the cheater sigil to do double damage. I understand that reference. I understand that reference. Alright, where is Arborstone? I'm alert because I gotta start work, have fun with the stories. See ya, Stinger. Quick question, how do you tank in Fractals? Honestly, you really don't. So, in Guild Wars 2, there's very few mobs that you can make hit a particular person. The closest thing to tanking would be control. So, like, if you go into a group in Fractals and then you, like, pull all the mobs together and stun them so your group can kill them, that would be the closest thing to tanking. But if you mean go in there and taunt them with your shield held high and they beat on your shield while your party hits them, that's not really a thing. There's very few mobs in the game that are that stupid. Let's see. Like, out of all the raid bosses, there's a handful of them that are tankable. Most of them just do whatever they want. Muk, isn't Mini-Muk's voice developed enough to make it possible to switch with him while using the VTuber avatar? Isn't Mini-Muk voice developed enough to make it possible to switch with him? Yeah, I hid behind him the other day when I was sick. Hang on, I've got a switch here. Let me change this. Okay, so see now if I'm talking, he's moving. So if I just turn my camera off, I can hide behind him and talk and just pretend that like I'm a VTuber, right? Yeah, we used him for that the other day when I what is that, my worst? Oh, wait, sorry. You said, when you said Mini-Muk, you meant my kid. Is he developed enough to switch with him and use the VTuber avatar? Wait, what? You're saying, does he sound enough like me that he and I could swap and no one would notice? No, you guys would notice. Plus, he doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. Still waiting for SOTOR once afternoon stream has some space. It's in the maybe pile. Are you going to send a Mukluk plushie to Rose? He's already shown me that he has a receipt for one, so I know he ordered one. I feel like he would truly appreciate it. He'll joke about setting it on fire. Dude, I think he is... Alright, here's the thing. Chat, I am not a stranger to the world, right? I choose to keep my stream PG. That does not mean that I do not know a lot of the heinous things that he is joking about. Alright, I joke and say, oh man, he's going to be Sid from Toy Story, he's going to blow it into orbit, something like that. I fear he's going to make a joke involving it in a glass jar. And if you don't know, I am not explaining it. Alright? He did order one. I don't know what he's going to do to it. I kind of don't want to know. Alright? So that's kind of where we're at right now. Which I'm not saying it. I'm not explaining it. How could you bring that up? I think a lot of people get the mistaken impression that I'm just completely clueless about anything, and I just sit here in my room and I just listen to Blue's Clues. I don't know. And last night, he's like, oh man, have you guys heard that new song from Kanye? And I almost screamed. I was like, no, I will kill you. Yes, I know about some of the things going on in the world. I choose to freaking plug my ears and go la 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 and not think about it. But yeah, I know about some things. You seem like the kind of guy who listens to Kids Bop. I would probably love Kids Bop. I haven't listened to Kids Bop, though. Muck, what do you think of the new Janthir update? I have not watched the video yet. We will be soon. Take a day off, let Miss Muck take over the stream. Miss Muck, dude, operating the stream involves a lot of buttons. She would not know how to do any of that. I could maybe simplify it for her, but that would be real interesting. Okay, let's see. Janthir, all right. Quick question: how do you tank in Fractals? Wait, what? Mr. Espresso, I just spent a few minutes answering that question for you, buddy. If you just rewind the stream a little bit, I just did that. And here I thought I would just be random jump cut from one of his videos to surprisingly stuffing a Muck plush into a microwave. I hope that's all he does. Hey Muck, I kind of want to make a build involving Beastly Warden and a pretty much invincible bear. Any idea of how to start reverse engineering something like that? The question, Jabbers, is not can you do that, because that's easy. The question is where would that be useful? Beastly Warden is a, what is it, a 2-second taunt on a 20-second cooldown. So 10% uptime. And then you put that on a bear, which would have a lot more health, right? So, where's that useful? Most bosses aren't tauntable, so you'd use it for trash mobs. It's only going to be 10% of the time. In PvP, even if you double the damage of a bear, it's so low that other people could probably still ignore it and just shoot you in the face. In open world, a bear already has more than enough hit points, but it would certainly be pretty comfy. If you're running Beast Mastery anyway, you could run it in open world just for the bear to have even better stats and probably be pretty comfy. But in any tryhard content, like Strikes, Raids, Fractals, the bear, even with double damage, is going to be doing less damage than any of the other pet options. Are you feeling better? Better. I'm probably 90% of normal. My voice is just still kind of raspy, but thank you for asking. Is that double bonus 100% uptime or only during the taunt? No, it's always here. Hang on a second. All right, so here's a bear, and it has 52,000 health in PvE, right there. It has very low toughness, so it's very squishy, but it has 52k health. If I go to Beast Mastery and I take this trait, 80,000 hit points. So it gets 50% more health and 100% more damage. The thing is its damage is incredibly low. It's It's very, very low. It's like maybe 1 to 2k DPS total. But like you could probably have you could have fun with that in open world. I'm just trying to think of like any, like in PvP the taunt is useful because it's effectively a 2-second CC on your enemy while you're continuing to either reposition or shoot them in the face. But the actual bear stats are not going to, I can't imagine that they would matter much in PvP. In PvE, like I said, like the tryhard content, it's just going to be a pet that does less damage. But in like chill PvE content, like open world, it would totally be fun. Mug, no more rev for gathering nodes. The rev's parked somewhere right now, so I'm just doing this. Where's the trait for the bee? Yeah, they didn't add a trait for all of the pets that are in like their own singular pet family, and the bee is one of them. If you want an absolute unit, you might as well be playing mech. Kind of. Mech is kind of an all-arounder. The strength of a ranger pet compared to a mech pet is the versatility. Like, for example, this one helps keep might on the group. This one gives you stealth. This one helps keep fury on the group. This gives you access to Aegis. This can blind. This has access to shadow step. This is another heal. This can block projectiles and gives protection to the party. The list goes on and on and on, right? Now, half of those are useless, but half of them have
he had a prime laying around
boons and stuff. So the thing with like ranger pet versus mech pet is not that the ranger pet's ever going to win a one-on-one. It's that in this situation that pet's better, but in this situation that pet's better, and the list goes on. Mech all he has does a lot of damage. Or give a lot of heals. Yeah. Yeah, mech has some nice things. Like, for example, if you are playing a support but you want to help do damage, support mechanist does more damage than most other supports do while supporting. It's not much, but it means the fight's going to be over, you know, a little bit faster, which is less time for people to make mistakes. 1 to 2k is still more than high DPS. Oh, talking about the bear. Hey, Muck, what's your thoughts on Peach? Do you think it can actually increase the number of people playing PvP? Maybe. I will say I have a lot of fun playing it. But a lot of you know that my favorite way of playing games, often, not always, is support. I like green numbers. I like filling a health bar more than I like draining health bars. So going into push, everybody's team fighting constantly. I get more opportunities to big green numbers in push than I do in conquest. Are the gathering nodes split between each type of guild hall? Gathering nodes are split between the level of synthesis output. There is a upgrade for guild halls that is this right here. And any guild hall with a different level of this upgrade, you can harvest at the same time. So I've intentionally joined 4 guilds that are at different levels of that upgrade, so I can farm 4 a day. Let's see. Okay. I don't know why my guy just jumped there. Hi, Oscar. Overall, most useless pet, the hyena. The hyena has a cool skill where it summons a second hyena, so you get 2 pets. However, every other pet in here, if you give it boons and have it attack a target dummy, it'll do 1 to 2k DPS, some of them more. The hyena will do 1 to 200. So they were like, oh, you're getting 2 hyenas, reduce its damage by 10. Or divide it by 10. So there's no game mode where a 100 DPS pet with a clone of a 100 DPS pet is useful. Do they block projectiles? If you want to do that, the turtle makes a giant bubble that blocks projectiles. Yeah, so that hyena is useless in all game modes other than if you're just a newbie having fun in open world, I would say. I mean, there's a few others in here. Like I can't remember ever seeing like the Drake Hound. Like the Drake Hound has an immobilize, the Spider has an immobilize, but it's longer. It's long range, you know. Morello. I've never seen anyone use the Morello for anything. The Wallow, once it was added to the game, I've never seen it used for anything.
Look, it's the Tree of Birds. How are you today?
Devour and Spider have largely not been used for the most of the last 10 years. However, they just recently did that update where there's traits that involve specific pet families, so it's possible that they might get some love now, but we will see. Bertree says, you, sir, I have a bone to pick with you. What's up, Bertree? Still impressed with Muck's pet roster. My rangers have very few pets. Well, I mean, it's my most played character. I got like 6,000 hours on this guy almost. So, of course, I'm going to collect the pets. The only... Excuse me, voice cracking again. The only ones I don't have are the ones from, like, crazy achievements in Guild Wars 1. Muck, you haven't given me any work in a few days. Wait, that's you picking a bone with me? I thought you'd be happy about that. Bird, I thank you as always for your assistance with the uploads. The next one I would expect would be after Guild Wars tonight. We'll play
Can't
some.
Wait for use mukluk dancing, mukluk dancing, mukluk dancing, mukluk dancing.
After Guild Wars 2 tonight, we'll do another game, and that will be the next thing. Where is this area to collect chests? The short answer is Biora Marches. The second the longer answer with details, if you do !daily, I show where all these chests are in my daily routine video. This whole thing that I'm doing while I'm talking to you guys takes me like 10 minutes, and it makes me most of the gold that I get. I do this each day. How long does it take roughly to collect all the open world ranger pets? It depends. Do you already have the world map open? Let me give you an example. The smoke scale is from Tangled Depths. If you've never been to Tangled Depths, getting there is a bit of a chore. But if you've been there before and you can just take the waypoint to get there, it takes 1 second to get there. Right? So, it depends. Also, the smoke scale only is up at certain times in Tangled Depths. It's when a certain event is happening, then there's smoke scales there ready to be tamed. But then there's others, like there's a guy in Lion's Arch, you literally walk up and you just steal his dog and he starts crying, and then he summons his cat, and then you steal his cat and he starts crying, and then he summons the dog again. So there's 2 ranger pets tameable in Lion's Arch where you just steal them from some guy. Then there's one that's only in World v World. So whether you want to or not, you have to go in there screaming, find your way to it. It's a wolf. What? Yeah, I'm not even joking. Like, that is a thing. Where do I do that? It's on the big bridge. It's the Crichton Drakehound and something else you get there. I don't remember what the other one is. Don't forget the jellyfish in the water. Oh yeah, that's true. One of the water pets is in the water there. You finally played Guild Wars 2 after years? Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah. Hey dude, how many Rose Boys got banned yesterday? I didn't ban any Rose Boys from chat. I muted Rose for longer than I banned anyone from his chat. Arena posted the update article. Yeah, I've got a link to it, thank you. I'm just doing my daily routine and chatting while people come in. Yeah, Absolution.
Any ideas on what mats are needed for the new legendary backpack coming up?
Yeah, I got a few ideas. Making the legendary spear required a stack of each material that was new to the first 2 zones in Janthir. So the legendary backpack probably requires a stack of each material that is unique to the last 2 zones in Janthir. Now we already have access to Mistburned Barrens, so each of the unique materials added in Mistburned Barrens, save up a stack of those. Also, the Mistburned Barrens Mastery quest, or achievement, rewards you with a backpack that says it's a precursor. So that's probably our precursor. You live streaming with Rose makes me think you enjoy playing with matches. Oh my god. Thank you, Isvan. Sure. How the people make money to buy stuff in the Guild Wars 2 auction house that is not in the auction house itself. How the money people spend is made in the first place. It has to come from somewhere that isn't the market itself. I mean, Rag, you see what I'm doing right now, right? I'm like looting coins and stuff like that. Like, anytime you sell gray items to a merchant, that gives you coins, and that puts coins in the economy. Anytime you loot coins from a mob, that gets coins into the economy. Whenever you buy something on the TP, and some of it is like 10% of what you would have made is taken away for fees, that removes coins from the economy. Let's see. Did it go that bad last night that people are talking about Rose's fans? No, that guy was just trolling. He had dance emojis in his message bird. He was just messing around. I love seeing that character selection screen, all the different colored hats. I know exactly who is where. New Leggy backpack will need to look massively cool for me to invest in that after just finishing out in front of them. Yeah. I will probably make one just to make a guide on it, but I don't know that I'm going to need it either, because I've already got Ad Infinitum also. What are jade slivers used for? I don't remember. We could find out. /wiki jade sliver. Jade sliver acquired from junk items recycled by the Jade Bot Recycler. Currency at the Jade Servitor. So there is a merchant in Arborstone and also in Jade Junkyard that you take the slivers to, and they sell you things. There's a link to the Jade Sliver webpage. Okay, I think we're done with all of that. How you feeling? I'm okay, thank you. My voice is still not quite 100%, it's catching some, but mostly back to normal. How and where is Chip? Last I saw him, he was on the sofa in the living room. I gave him some pats a little while ago. Are you willing to update some of those low-intensity builds you made a while ago? All of the ones that are still on the !li builds webpage were tested after Janthir came out, and they still work. So I test them each expansion to see if I need to take any of them down. If I come across more, I'd be happy to add more to the list. After next week, the next video I'm going to be working on is probably that legendary backpack. I plan to get the Janthir back for my EU. I'll hide back anyways, and not like any leisure back that I actually like. How about your ears after listening to so much profanity in the previous stream? I mean, there wasn't that much profanity on the previous stream. Let's see. Plus chip, sure. It'd be cool if they had a shiny version of pets like Pokemon. Oh, to the person who asked about the bridge. Here, hang on. I'll show him. Okay, where is he? He's around here somewhere. Oh, here. So this is the guy. So if you're a ranger and you haven't tamed it, you can tame this dog, and this guy starts crying. And then a few minutes later, a cat spawns, and then you can tame that, and he starts crying again, and then the dog respawns. That's it. I think this is the only place in the game where you get the Crichton Drakehound. Like, this is where they intend for you to get it. That's messed up. It is messed up. I don't know why they did it that way.
Me too. I'd be sleeping.
Poor dude, yeah. I think you can get the Drakehound in the Cave of Animals in Ore. It might have, I could look it up, but I'm not going to bother right now. It might have other places that you can get it.
Tap, tap.
Hi, Noxxi. If you're not a monster. Maybe he's just a bad pet owner. Yeah, I mean, his pet just willingly leaves him and follows you. You need more sleep? What do you mean you need more sleep? You did you left 2 hours early. You got so much sleep. You can get Drake count of DR in Divinity's Reach. Speaking of pets. Just a minute, chat. Just pretend it's a commercial break. Did you already try the 3 Rangers using Warhorn 5 at the same time? Oh, yeah, that's been a thing for years. It's pretty cool, but yeah, I'm aware of it. Okay. Thank you. Wow. Shouldn't Gabe be at school? His summer vacation started. So, I'm stuck with him. Was that Rel from Warframe? That was Noxxi from Guild Wars 2. I wish we could use 2 pets at the same time like in WoW. You can have 2 hyenas, but they're really weak. How was Rose last night? He broke the contract. If that had been something where he was getting paid for, he wouldn't have gotten paid for it. Because he broke the terms of the contract 3 times. I was quite upset with him, but at least the audience seemed to enjoy it. Mini Muck, is that bigger than actual Muck now? Yes, this is me standing at my full height. Yes. Dude, stop popping in. Oh my gosh. 3 times in 1 minute. Let's see. Okay, hold on a sec. Let me open a new tab here. Let me get this Absolution thing open. We're gonna check this out. What are you, a gaming room tour? I did a room tour just like the other day. Okay. Hang on a moment. Let me see what we got. All right. We're gonna do this. Okay. Chat, we are going to, I'm gonna refresh this page just so that it goes back to normal. Okay, we are going to go over the new Guild Wars 2 news. Here we go. All right, hello gamers. Today is Tuesday, May 27th. We got a bit of Guild Wars 2 news. For those that don't know, 1 week from today, at the time of recording this, is when the last update for Janthir Wilds is going to come out. And we were just given some new information on that update. So, studio update, Absolution, launches June 3rd. Greetings, Tyrians. The final chapter of Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds arrives on June 3rd with Absolution, a climactic update that plunges deep into the haunted heart of Mersat history. Journey into the ruins of Bava Nisos and uncover the truth behind the rift that still threatens Tyria. Alongside this epic conclusion, Absolution also brings a new Fractal, a legendary backpiece, homestead upgrades, a suite of quality of life changes, relics, goodies in the Wizard's Vault, and the debut of Challenge Mode for Convergence Mount Balrior, along with a Twitch Drops event to celebrate the release. Let's take a look at what's coming next for Guild Wars 2. And we've got a video. So I've got that open in another tab. Hopefully it's not too loud. Let's see what we got. I have not seen this yet.
You've borne witness to our folly. But there's more. Please, let me show you. I left Bava Nisos to rest. But that only left our mistakes to rumble and fester.
Yo, it's Gorseval.
I chose not to avenge my people, endangering and burdening yours. And now that burden falls to you. Will you help me one last time, Wayfinder?
Absolution, story finale, forced entry, Titanic undertaking, Salvation's cost, new explorable map and meta, Bava Nisos, a Titanic voyage, legendary backpack, Orax manifested. New Fractal, challenge mode, Kinfall, Convergence boss update plus challenge mode. Ura the Steam Shrieker. Mastery update, Homesteading and Mersot Shadowcraft. Grandmaster Handiworker Crafting Janthir Beehive Mastery. New homestead decorations and Wizard's Vault refresh. New weapon set and relics, more achievements and rewards. Okay, so let's go back here. Hold on. We're gonna analyze it. All right. So you've borne witness to our folly. We see Epark. I see people rushing at the Titans, fighting Decima. And then, of course, this is Mabon talking right now. If you're not at this point of the story, the Mabon is completely okay. Nothing bad happened to him. He's just talking to you through a walkie-talkie. So this appears to be the inside of Bavanissa's. And these right here look like the constructs that we would see all the time fighting the White Mantles, such as Cairn. Now, there's a ton of these things. You fight them in Guild Wars 1 quite a bit, and you fight them in multiple places in Guild Wars 2, and there's one raid boss that is built from these things. These look like they were killed and their heads were mounted on a wall, which is kind of hardcore. Alright, and continuing on. Okay, they're having like a little meeting, a little powwow. She's sad about something she heard, probably about Mabon resting. Alright, and then something going here. Is just like a barrier or something here they're trying to break through. Some Siege Turtle Gaming. Now, Gorseval, very interesting. So, Gorseval is a raid boss, and when you reach him, I don't know his full lore, but I know when you reach him, your character, he is like that creature. It's made of spirits. And so it's just like a whole bunch of souls and stuff that's like stuck together. So I don't know if this is the Gorseval from raids, or if this is just another one, like another creature like the one we called Gorseval that was created. I would find it really odd if it's the same exact creature in Bavanissos that we met in raids. I would imagine it's just another creature with a similar name, kind of like how what's his name, Deimos and Saris look similar because they're bros. Of course, this looks like the exact same model, just much larger. Then we've got this big, looks like a pump or something. I don't know, with zits on it. And intestines. A portal. Now that burden falls to you. They go through the portal. Alright, so here they are. And he says, "Will you help me one last time?" And then here in the background, the artwork here, it looks like floating chunks of a city, but then there's just like, I don't know, tendrils of corruption or runny snot that are like, keeping it suspended in the air. Not sure what's going on there either. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. All right, so going back to the blog post. Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds Absolution. When Mabon fell to the Cryptus... Ah, crap, I was trying to keep it secret. An ancient ward cast over the city of Bavanissos evaporated. All its secrets were free to fester, all its ghosts danced back to life. At the start of Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds, the commander was sent on a mission of diplomacy to befriend the lowland Coden of the Janthir region. But just as we settled into the calming rituals of the Delta lifestyle, a darker threat emerged from the shadows. Titans had somehow been released into Tyria once again. Somehow the Titans returned. And the commander, with the aid of allies old and new, navigated the perilous reaches of Janthir to defeat these otherworldly creatures. Victory was just within reach too, before Ura revealed with her dying breath that the door that she and her kin used to breach our realm remained open. In this second update for Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds, Repentance, we chased the echo of an old acquaintance through the ruins of his people's demise as we searched for this open mist gate. Now, in the finale of Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds, we will reach the core of the Titan crisis once and for all. And we got a picture here that is being really weird in the browser. Okay, so it's like floating stones forming a large globe or something. Bavanissos. Each of the 3 survey teams that you helped comb through Mistburn Barrens completed their research and have come to the same conclusion. Something vile awaits us within the depths of Bavanissos. Really? All their research came to the conclusion that something wicked this way comes. All right. When a path into the city proper is finally revealed at the start of Absolution, our final descent begins. Once a monument to Mursat victory, Bavanisos was built into the side of a great mountain. Its sprawling halls and twisting passages branch in every direction. However, the once opulent city is now crumbling with decay. When the door of Kamali was opened and the Titans spilled out into Tyria, Bavanisos was sieged by a bloody battle that took down one of Tyria's most powerful societies. Most of the living Mursat and attacking Titans were slaughtered, but despite their defeat and the city's abandonment, menacing magic still lingers inside of Bavanisos. Left alone for almost 300 years, the magic has mutated and warped with time. As the grand finale of the Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds experience, Bavanisos contains a climactic map-wide meta event. You'll be working alongside factions supporting the Tyrian Alliance, such as Counselor Ludo from Radisum, and a spirited guest from Divinity's Reach, Most Elusive Social Club. Wait, what? A spirited guest from Divinity's Reach's Most Elusive Social Club. To fight your way to the mist at the city's heart. What? Divinity's Reach's Social Club. Huh? Lord Farron? Dude, oh wow, if it's Farron, that would be great. If it's maybe Anise. I don't think, no, like Anise was probably going to be there, but I don't think this is how they would describe her. All right, if it's Farron, that's awesome. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't know of any club at Divinity's Reach. I know of a few in Lion's Arch. But I was completely drawing a blank on a Divinity's Reach club. The meta contains 3 main lanes that players can participate in, where you'll face various obstacles and threats as you navigate the surreal landscape. So I'm wondering if it's going to be kind of like Dragon's Stand, where all 3 lanes have to succeed to get to the final. What could possibly await you inside? And then there's a picture that once again looks like it's got dead cairns mounted on a wall. All right. New challenges await. The battle for Mount Balrior is about to get even more intense. In Absolution, we're adding the 3rd and final Convergence boss encounter, as Ura, the Titan Imperatrix known as the Steam Shrieker, at last makes her appearance. This god spawn commands the scalding steam and choking geysers of the mountain, making her unending wrath truly something to be feared. If you fought Ura before, this encounter introduces some new mechanics to make this a fresh twist on the Mount Balrior experience. For those seeking an even greater test of skill, we're also introducing challenge mode for Mount Balrior Convergence, offering greater difficulty, sharper coordination checks, and even more rewarding spoils for those who triumph. Our newest Fractal dungeon, Kinfall, also arrives June 3rd. Step into the roles of a small band of lowland Coden as they defend their homeland during the Ice Brood invasion of Northern Tyria. Alright, so it's confirmed. We are, in fact, playing the Bears. And as they hear the whispers of the legendary dragon Jormag, in response to player feedback, with Kinfall, we've intentionally stepped back from the raid-like complexity of the more recent Fractals in favor of a streamlined and repeatable experience reminiscent of some of our earlier Fractals. This challenge mode for Kinfall will release 3 weeks later in our June 24th game update. And this is it right here. So real quick here, as I do try to make sure that everyone is included in the conversation, let's talk about this for a second. So we've intentionally stepped back from raid-like fractal complexity. So I'm near a fractal portal in game right now. So in Fractals, all of these are the different maps. Now, some of these are, do get duplicated. Like here's uncategorized and here's uncategorized again, for example. Back in the day, like when I started playing, Shattered Observatory was the last one. Since then, they've added Sunquaw Peak, Silent Surf, and Lonely Tower. And I gotta say, I don't really like Pug in any of those. And the reason is they are all decently challenging. And they are all challenging enough that if I join a Pug, there is no guarantee I will get those done. If I join a Pug and the daily Fractals are Underground Facility, Thalmanova, and Molten Furnace, we're getting those done. There is no way that the Pugs could be bad enough that we're not getting that done. But Sunquaw, Silent Surf, and Lonely Tower. Sunquaw is really, really long. If you do it on challenge mode, it's just one really tough fight. Silent Surf is mostly the boss fight that is, you know, again, somewhat challenging, and a Lonely Tower is extremely challenging. I would say most people love the first boss fight of Lonely Tower, where you fight 2 previous raid bosses at the same time, more than they do the final fight, which is a mess. It is a mess. To put it into perspective, like after I made the guide for it, I never went back. I've literally not been back since I made the guide for it. The Lonely Tower final encounter is a mess on normal mode or challenge mode. Now, obviously, if you're with an experienced group, you can blast through any of these. It's no big deal. My point is that in the last, like all the fractals they've added in the last 5 years, have been like they were trying to give the really, really try-hard players something to do. And everyone else is like, oh, Lonely Tower's the daily today? Skip that, we'll just do the other 2 dailies. And that's pretty much what it's become for, like, you know, everyone else in the community. Okay, so that's what they're talking about now. All right, home improvement. Wait, are they going to keep removing old fractals? No. It's not that they remove old fractals. So right now, uncategorized is fractal number 79 and it's fractal number 91. So there's some that are in here as duplicates. So like this is the same one, everything just hits a little harder. So they would remove one of these duplicates and shift the list a little bit to make room for the new one on the list. That's what they would do. So basically what you have here is there should be 25 different ones, but there's not 25. Like, look, there's Swampland again, right? So there's just some that are in here more than once. Okay. Home improvement. In Absolution, we're doubling the homestead decoration cap to 2,000. Nice. I know some of you who's used 1,000 units making a detailed kitchen. Now you'll be able to make one more kitchen, giving builders and dreamers the space they've been craving. Players can now train the new Grandmaster Handiworker crafting tier to increase decoration limit by 500, and Def Lahar will sell decoration limit increases to raise the cap an additional 500. This release also introduces new decorations and adds 2 new resource nodes, to Def Lahar's inventory. I'm guessing the new resource nodes are going to be related to the new map that are getting added, just like how we got resource nodes for the previous maps. But we're not stopping at structural upgrades, we're elevating the vibes as well. On June 3rd, the Black Lion Trading Company will debut a brand new customization option that lets you change the appearance of your homestead's sky. First up is a dazzling Aurora Borealis display that turns Hearth's glow into a northern dreamscape. Later this year, you'll also be able to personalize the entrance to your homestead with skins for your conjured doorway. This is cool. My only thought here is if I go into my homestead and I talk to the guy and change it to daytime or nighttime, it doesn't save that. I have to do that every time I enter. If someone were to bother setting up this Aurora Borealis, I would hope it would just stay that way if they want it to stay that way. Look forward to even more updates to Homesteads in our next expansion later this year. Homesteads are beginning to rival Fashion Wars for the most expressive corner of Tyria. Quality of life. We've got a hefty round of quality of life updates coming your way in Absolution. From the Wizard's Portal Tome to hold your collection of portal scrolls to the endlessly efficient Wizard's Gobbler, this update is full of small changes that make a big difference and free up some much needed inventory space. We'll dive into the details in a dedicated blog later this week. Stay tuned. Summer schedule. While Absolution marks the end of the Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds story arc, there's still plenty to look forward to in the months ahead while you await this summer's news of our next expansion. Here's a look at what's coming on the horizon. June, Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds Absolution, Dragon Bash Festival, Skill and Balance Update, Fractal Challenge Mode, Kinfall. July, Expansion Announcement, Return to Secrets of the Obscure event, World v World Rush bonus event, Rouge. August, PvP Pish beta event, there's another one, Festival of the Four Winds. Now, I believe in the last 2 years, August was around the time that the new expansion came out. I'd have to go double check, but they did say that this one, they needed a little more time on it and it was getting delayed. So it's going to be a couple months after August when we get it estimated this year. And let's see. Oh, and then here we go. We've got exact dates down here. And just, I have this on screen if any of you just want to read it. Stay tuned to our channels throughout this week, and next as we share a deeper look at what's coming with Absolution. As always, thank you for being a part of this journey with us. Signed, the Guild Wars 2 team. And there's a couple of additional pictures here. I'm guessing this is from inside Baba Nisos. There's those floating stones we saw earlier from a different camera angle, and more of these weird tendril things. Then we've got some Sons of Svanir. I think this is from inside the Fractal, because in the teaser video they showed with the bears were fighting what looked like Sons of Svanir. And a new Earth Elemental type model? Very interesting. It almost looks like a malachite that's been sheared off. It's pretty cool. Is that the last one? Yeah, that is the last one. Okay, neat. Looks like a tiny Ura spawn. Yeah. All right, well, that is it for the studio update Absolution that is launching on June 3rd. That is next Tuesday for anyone who is watching this the day that this video goes live. And if you've got any questions, problems, thoughts, concerns, or even you noticed anything in the video that I missed, put them in the comments section down below. I'll fight you there. Okay, chat. The news is done. We have done the news. I have done my newsly duties. All right, awesome. Let me turn this back up a bit. And I'm gonna throw that recording up onto YouTube so it can start uploading. Waka 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 waka. Just the name of the backpack. When plushies get here, any update on that? Yeah, so the plushies on the webpage that y'all ordered them from, and also in the email you received when you ordered it, it had an estimated shipping date. They should be there by August 8th, which is a bit of a wait, I know. I wish it would get there sooner, but that's what it is by August 8th. They're on the way. They're on the way. I would imagine that they're in queue behind like another batch or something right now. But yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, let's see. Where is the recording I just did? Let's see. I don't mind. August is perfect. Nice. Asian children are searching them right now. Oh my god. Smashy. You've been hanging around Rose too much. Making jokes like that. Okay. Will there be a Discord channel in your Discord to post the plushies with a knife? Absolutely. I'll also request that people show me them on on Twitter and stuff like that too. I had one person tell me they're like, my dog is very excited to get your plushie, and I'm like, is it gonna be a chew toy? Oh my poor plushie bug. He's gonna lose a battle. You answered me on Twitch, thank you, sir. Oh sure, Lawrence. Hello, Muck. Hi, Lapis. Probably a week for shipping at least. Yeah, I will say, when they sent me the prototype, they spared no expense. They're like, all right, hey, this is on the way. It should be there within 2 weeks. I'm like, okay. And 2 days later, it was here. From another country. I was like, wow, they paid for like overnight world shipping. So I got the prototype really fast, but don't think they're doing that for all of them. My cat with the plushie. No! Do you believe the new node will require Ursus Oblige like the previous maps? I don't know. Ursus Oblige is a currency that's in the first 2 Janthir maps, but it's not necessarily in the 3rd and 4th Janthir maps, so it might not. No way this side of the moon, my dog's getting near that plushie. Yeah, keep it safe. Hey Mug, can I ask your opinion on a stance a friend has on this game? He said theory crafting was kind of a waste of time because everyone plays the meta anyways, an illusion of choice. I would say that depends on the game mode. So, let me give you an example. If you are... Hang on a second. I need something to write in. Okay. Alright. So, builds. Alright, PvE. There is a best. Okay? Most DPS. Most healing. 100% boon uptime. Etc. Right? There is a best when you are talking about fighting a raid boss, right? The boss does the same thing every time. You can tweak what you're doing and min-max the hell out of it. Alright? PvP, and World v World. There is not a best. All right. So in these, it's not about your damage per second, right? It might be landing a stun and doing the most damage per second within a couple of seconds. And then if the enemy doesn't die, you regroup and wait for your cooldowns again, right? You don't keep wailing on them like a target dummy forever. You know, it might be, most burst. It might be boon removal. It might be a pull to pull them off a wall. It might be a reflect bubble to protect your squad. You know, it could be, buffs for your party. It could be super speed to get away. It could be stealth to ambush. You know, it could. There's so many things, like niche things in PvP and World v World, because you're fighting other people and those people are not perfect. And so you could do all kinds of crazy stuff to try to, have fun with the situation, So there are, like in any given moment, there might be a best thing in that moment, but it's impossible to know if that moment's going to happen in the first place before you start playing. Also, rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, true. So I would say that your friend is correct in a single game mode, but I don't agree with that statement for other game modes. Hello, MuklukYoutube. Hi, Theo. How you doing? Okay, let's see. Did this finish uploading? Let me change this here. Yes, it did. Okay. So now it is thumbnail time, chat. Oh boy. Everybody's favorite time. We can add in some Easter eggs. They're crafted in World v World all the time. It can be fun, but if you can't handle struggling to learn, you'll revert to meta. I will say, if you're brand new to the game and you don't know what you're doing, copying a build can be good, because if you make your own build and you die, you're like, okay, does my build suck or do I suck? And you don't know which one it is. But if you're copying a build that you know is good, and then you die, you're like, okay, it's me. I need to just get more practice with the build. It's me. I'm terrible. But, if you made it, you don't really know. So it's not a bad idea if you're brand new to the game to just copy an existing build, and then as you gain an understanding of it, then make changes as you wish. Stunlock, Spellbreaker, Hammer Warrior is broken in PvP. It is. Fortunately, not many warriors can play it. But yeah, it is pretty insane. He's not even right about PvP. If you're playing with pugs, it's good to have some utilities. That's kind of a vague statement. Utility is just your 7, 8, and 9 buttons. Everyone has utilities. But yeah, there are situations where people don't play perfect. Like, if you... okay, let me give you an example. A really experienced Fractal group or raid group doesn't even need a healer. You only need a healer if people are getting hit. If everyone in the party plays perfectly, you don't even need one. You just need the boons and damage, that's it. But if, you're with any group that's less than perfect, a healer is a great thing to have. Okay. Alright. That's the last thumbnail I made. So we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna get rid of that. And we're gonna get rid of that. And we're just slap a Guild Wars 2 logo on there. And then I need to, let's see. Okay, I need a thumbnail. Let's see. Likely says, sorry if this is too vague of a question. I came back to the game for the first time since launch. I have an EU friend that might want to play with me on NA. Is there any cross-region play? I guess she would have to make an NA account, but her ping would suffer. Hello, Likely. Okay, so is there cross-region play? Not really. So you can whisper each other. You can mail items to each other. We have the same economies. You can trade. You could be in the same guild, but you'll never see each other in the game. Like, you are on different servers. Now, you can, let me go back here. You can have one of you pay a few gems to do a server transfer and swap to the other realm. In the bottom left, there's a region selection, and you can change to the other realm. But if you do that, it is completely possible that whichever one of you is playing on the faraway realm will have ping issues. You could have you whip up a EU account, or your friend whip up an NA account and test the ping before you do a server transfer, and use like a free account to just do like a ping test and see how it feels. But yeah, there's not a server in the ocean between the two of you, I'm afraid. Like in the no heals TM Fractals, yeah. Free players have a lot of free viewers too, almost no restrictions. What's interesting about theory crafting around balancing survivability and damage, it's easy to figure out which traits bring the most damage, but take a Hyzen solo Vine Tooth Clear, for example. Yeah, survivability can be movement, it can be more dodges, it can be stability, it can be Aegis, it could be healing, it could be Condi Cleanse. It could be barrier. Like, survivability can be different things that help in different ways. Someone posted an image of what seems to be the new backpack. If you want to see it, I have a link I can send you. Sure, I'll take a look. If it's like an image or thing or something. Oh, hold on, I just got a DM. Let's see. With positive results from the first campaign and a request to do another with the same ideas I pitched. However, that was 13 days ago, no response yet. Currently was waiting on that before I reached back out to you. Okay. Let's see. Where did they find this image? Yeah, I'm not gonna put this up on stream because I don't know, it could be a leak, it could just be fabricated. And either way, I'm not supposed to spread those things. Weird though. Huh. If that is the legendary backpack, it wouldn't become my new favorite. It's interesting though. I know some people would like it, probably char players. Let's see. Okay. All right. Show. The link's in the chat if you want it. It was just an image or link. Okay. So let's see. Where were we? All right. So I needed to get a. Let's see. YouTube thumbnail. Hold on. I'm getting a copy of one of the artworks for the thing that we just did. Okay. So this was one of the arts for what they just did. Guild Wars Absolution. Never really zoomed in on this. Is that Kaith? That might be Kaith. It's got her shoulder thing. Just looking at the characters that were in this. Seeing who's in it. Okay. Let's see. Need some text. Let's see, and let's see. Oh God, why? Change the font color. Let's see. Yours to let's see. Final. Oh God, I'll fix it again in a sec. Final Janthir patch revealed. Wow. Do that. There we go. I've seen the leaked backpack during the trailer. Either it is a backpack or at least a new skin from the patch. Can you make him even balder? Make who balder? What's up, Captain Crapface? The bald in the middle? Oh, Isgarin? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Isgarin. We don't know many people that have 4 arms that float. We know a few, but not many. Baldur's Gates. I think it might be the new Leggy backpack. I saw it in the trailer at 040 on the right-hand side. Okay, hang on a sec. I will check that. I will check that. All right, here's the trailer. All right, you said 040. Okay, this is 040. On the Warclaw right side. Right there. Okay. All right. Yeah, I see it. I see it. So, chat, it's like this black energy on the back that it also dangles down, so it almost looks like a tail that looks similar to Suwon's Void. Need a microscope to see it? Well, yeah, they hid it in here. But you can see there's like a long tail thing there. It's interesting. Like I said, I think it's going to be something Char players will enjoy. Apparently the Reddit people got it from a press release with images sent when the blog post went live. Well, I can at least say that after looking at this that you pointed out to me in the official trailer, I now believe that that is a real thing in game and not just something that someone made up. What I don't know is that if that's the legendary backpack, or if that is just like a gem store thing, or some kind of maybe like an achievement reward or something like that, you know? But it very much could be. Like if you look at the existing Leggy backpacks in the game, they look pretty extra, you know? It could be. So Char can have 3 tails now? The real question is whether or not it will be sellable in the trading post. I would be shocked. And the reason I say that is there is no precedent for any tradable legendary in the game besides a couple weapons. So I would expect it to not be. Even Obsidian Armor was not tradable. And all the existing legendary backpacks, such as Ad Infinitum, Warbringer, and the PvP one whose name escapes me right now, all 3 of those are not tradable. Ascension, thank you. I would also be shocked if they made it tradable. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. And where's one of my thinky dudes? Minion folder. Is this a think or is this a I'm so excited? I think I'm so excited. Gotta keep the energy up. All right, select. Do that. Boop, 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 boop. We're so excited. This thumbnail needs a dentist. We'll get there. Hold on. I gotta get the essentials in. And then you guys can ruin it, okay? let me do the stuff that makes it, like, recognizable as one of my thumbnails. And then you guys... Yeah, then I let the kids come in with the crayons, alright? Meh. Whoa, that looked really weird for a second. Alright. Okay. See that. Alright. Why do I have to be at work today after a long weekend? It's a hype trailer, nothing here to think about. Do the cool thing, go fight the big bad. Yes. It needs butter. It's not even... What is it with you guys and butter? You're so weird about it. Alright, butter PNG. Alright. Where are we gonna hide this? Ah! No, too much! Too much! Mistakes were made. I put it right there on that rock. Baking in the sun. Perfect? No. It's an Easter egg. Easter egg butter. Hey Muck, started to play Ham recently. Is there a way to generate stability besides using the mech command? Crisis Zone? I'm pretty sure Crisis Zone is the main one. I don't know if you've got another way to generate stab besides that. Put it on the dude's hand. Yo, I'm a returning player. I tried joining Strikes last night in Eye of the North, but it seems like they were in a different lobby. Sniper Potion. Hello, welcome. So there is like 5 strikes in Eye of the North, and there is 2 of them in the Wizard's Tower, which is in Secrets of the Obscure. So depending on the ones that they were doing, you might have been in the wrong location. So if you join a group and it just says they're doing strikes, you might need to be like, hey, which one are you on? But if you join a group and they say they're doing like the Icebrood 5, then they're doing the ones in Icebrood Saga. Or different world shard. No, well, the world shard only really matters if like one's in EU, one's in NA. Yeah, and then there's some in Arborstone as well. Yeah, from End of Dragons. Can you replace the spear with a crayon? No, I want to leave the spear. I want to leave the recognizable artwork. What's your favorite website for up-to-date builds? Guild Gem is good. Snowcrows is good. I haven't been there in a while, but I think Hardstuck is good. Metabattle's all right. Those are all good. You know what? Hold on. I got an idea. I'm gonna try something here. Let's see if this works. That doesn't work. No. Hold on. I need to search for clear background. Okay, let's try this. Okay. I'm adding a sparkle to his bald head. Very shiny head. There we go. There you go. Captain Crapface, that's for you. But Mr. Clean with 2 added arms. Do you World v World at all? I haven't recently, but I have in the past. I have to get tokens to the land spear, and I'm not sure how long it'll take to gather those green jade currencies. What? You don't have to World v World to make the land spear. I don't know. I don't know what step you're talking about. I've made 4 legendary spears in Janthir, and you don't have to World v World for those. Put the plushie in there. Let's see. I don't know. Where would the plushie go in this? Ah! He's too powerful! Oh my gosh. There, right there. Little Easter egg. Okay. On Muck's head. Oh, hold on. He has to be on a higher layer. There. Okay. Alright. This is good enough. It's good enough for government work. All right. Guild Wars 2 news 5/27/25. All right, save. Should have replaced the crosses in the eyes of the pair of plushies. Keep him on the lower layer, a true Easter egg.
How was the 7th anniversary?
Exhausting, but it was a lot of fun. A ton of people came out and supported the channel. It was amazing. It was really, really good. Okay, so now, let's go over here. Let's do this. Reuse. News. This is the last one. Let's do this. Okay, May 27th. Guild Wars 2 news. What was the name of it? Ascension? Absolution. Absolution. Let's see. Final Janthir patch revealed. Absolution. Alright, sources. Always include my sources. Paste. And I just looked it up in the wiki, and you get to battle for the new Lance Spear Legendary. Okay, I apologize. I already had a stack of those in the bank, and I forgot about those. However, he mentioned that he had to farm Jade Slivers in World v World or something, and that's what confused me. Because I definitely didn't have to farm Jade Slivers. Yeah, no, you are correct about the Gift of Battle. My bad. I already had that in my bag, and I forgot about that stuff. But I don't know what you mean by the Jade thing. Let's see, thumbnails. Guild Wars 2. I need to delete some of these older thumbnails. Okay, I just need to wait until the thing gets posted. There we go. Okay, and not a stream. Hold on, did that work? Yeah, that worked. All right. Casually flexing. Not that big of a flex. I'm almost out of them. Because I've done quite a bit of World v World, right? But there are other people that just do it recreationally. And they're like, oh yeah, I've got 60 Gifts of Battle. And I got just a couple left. I'm almost out. Okay. One more question. I'm new to the Wizard's Vault. I have 550 points. What's the best to get? If you don't have any Ascended gear, getting your first set of Ascended gear is quite good. Alright, just a second. Alright, hello gamers. Today is Tuesday. Video goes live. And if you've got any questions, problems, thoughts, could... Okay, good. I think that's good. Think the... Hang on a second. Ah, flashbang. Hold on, I'm checking... I think the description is messed up. I'm checking something from another video. Alright. No, I guess that's fine. Alright, I guess that's fine. Alright, and... boop. There we go. Bills paid for another day. Okay, that's done. And that message has been responded to. And Noxxi has flooded me with DMs. What does Noxxi want? Press kit pictures. Neat. Okay. Alright. You should be able to buy the starter kit with Soto or Janthir. To be fair, I have 40 stacks. 2 in the bank. They build up fast when you have an enjoyable World v World guild to play with. Yeah. I was the same way for a long time with Fractals. When I found out that Ad Infinitum existed, which is the legendary backpack from Fractals, I looked at my collection of materials and I was like, oh my god, I almost have it done. And I finished it in like 2 days. Like, all I had to do was put them together and go do like 1 or 2 obscure achievements and I was done. So it's like, if you do a ton of PvP, you might have accidentally finished a lot of the steps of the Ascension. If you do a lot of World v World, you might be almost done with the Warbringer. You know, if you do a lot of Fractals, you might have finished Ad Infinitum and not even realized it. Yeah, stuff like that. Which is kind of cool. But then, you know, there's others, like the raid legendaries, you have to jump through a few hoops to get started. But still, if you've already been doing raiding for a long time, there are some steps that you'll be able to just skip through. Hello, I missed the 12-hour stream, and I was watching the VOD. I kept on wanting to chat, but it was in the past. I definitely remember Pogs growing up. I had to say, you definitely aged us about cardboard circles the kids gambled. Yeah, I've got a box of them somewhere. But yeah, that did come up in conversation. That did come up. Thank you for watching the show. Alright, we've gone through the blog post news. If they choose to add anything to the gem store or anything like that today, that would be in like a half an hour, I think. So we have until then. Let's see, I'm working on my legendary insight slowly but surely. At this rate, I'll get it in 5 months. Hey, you're making progress. You make it progress. Boop, 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 boop. I do a lot of open world, so I burned through 2 of the 3 legendary armor sets in like 2 or 3 months, and most of that was the Essence collection. Everything else I have. Nice. Yeah, I already had full legendary when the Obsidian came out, so I made 1 piece of it just to be able to record it and make the guide, but that was it. They probably meant the Testimony of Jade Heroics, which is not needed for it either way, but they can be gotten out of skirmish chests. Gotcha. Okay. Talking about Legis, what's the best way to go about getting Provisioner tokens? Okay, so Provisioner tokens are really expensive if you want to get like 80 in a single day, but if you just get a couple a day, they're extremely cheap. I'm going to tell you some ones I know of. There's a handful here. Black Citadel. By this waypoint, there's a Provisioner token guy, and I think they take like a bit of Obsidian for a Prof token. Lion's Arch, by this waypoint, there's a Prof person, and they take a couple Ectos for Profs. Over here, Verdant Brink, by this waypoint, there's a Prof person that takes like some Verdant Brink meta stuff for it. Same thing in Auric Basin by I think the top left one? I think there's one there. Also in Soto, they added a lot of Prov people around like Amnitos and some other locations that will take just a whole collection of different things like Elderwood logs and Mithril ore and things like that. So those can be useful as well. Those are all ones I've used in the past. But basically, I would recommend find a few that to you feel pretty cheap. Like they require a resource that you have just a ton of. And then just do those every day. You know, don't try to get like, 100 done in a single day would be my recommendation.
General Yuki raided my stream with 2 viewers.
Thank you. General Yuki, thank you for the raid. Appreciate that. When I was still going for Prof tokens, I was getting 4 a day with my Weaponsmith. There you go. I think every raid CM grants 2 Prof tokens. While useful to know, I would say that doesn't help most of the people who would ask that question. I feel like most people ask you gotta get a Prof token are not crunching raid CMs. But, true. Alright, let's see. Is anyone doing this right now? End of Dragon, Seitung. Oh, there's a meta going. Nice. No! I don't think I'm gonna get in. Rip. Which legendaries need tokens? The easiest way to answer that is just to go to the Prov token wiki page and look at what it's used in.
Boop.
Hello, Gakouties? Gakouties, you have a challenging name to say. Thank you, I appreciate that. What token? Provisioners tokens was the topic of conversation. Alright, let's see. What else we got? What else we got? Blighting Towers is going. That's a fun one. Alright, I wonder if I stay in the queue for this, if I leave them out. Let's see. Illusionist Zarin, thank you for the prime. I wonder if Illusionist Zarin plays Mesmer. Because that's the Illusionist class. Appreciate that, Zarin. Let's see. I did stay in the queue? Okay. I wasn't sure if that would keep. Let's see. Heart of Thorns, Auric, or Dragon Stand. No, no one's doing this one. Rip. I forgot about Black Citadel. Yeah, that one is the... I think that's the Obsidian Chunk one. Start one up. Oh man, I don't know if I've got that energy. Let's see, is there a chance I get in that? My position in queue has already moved up to 5. There's a chance I might get pulled into that other one. We'll see. We'll see. I guess I could work more on the unreleased legendary backpack while I wait to see if I get pulled into that. I think I'm gonna need a full stack of every Mistburn Baron's currency. So I've been working on acquiring that. Could be wrong, but we'll see. Hello, neighbors. Wow, there's a lot of Mist Essence here. I learned something new. You don't get kicked off the queue if you change maps. Thank you. You're welcome. I didn't know that either. Because, like, I'm pretty sure if you queue for PvP and then change maps, you leave the queue. Last I tested it, which it's been a while. The map thing, I didn't know. So we both just learned that. He's at 69 energy. Nice. Greetings from Antarctica. By the way, Poosh IPI farming was too much. Antarctica? What is this, like some scientist at like a research station down there? Watching my Guild Wars 2 stream? Let's see. Just a scientist watching a scientist. My karma goes to Aesgear Amulet gambling. Oh gosh, the Aesgear's amulets. The last time I did that, I did not get any of the good stuff. I haven't done it again since. For those that don't know, there's these things you can buy with Eternal Ice Shards and Karma called Aesgear's Amulets. And when you salvage them, there's a 1 in 20 chance that you get Salvaged Excellence. And Salvaged Excellence has value. But, you know, just because you buy 20 amulets doesn't mean you're going to get one. You might get none. I think the drop rate's 1%. Did it get lower? It used to be 5%. It used to be 1 in 20. Guild Wars 2, Aesgear's Amulet. Hang on. I'm very curious if they made it more rare or anything. Salvaged Excellence, very low chance.
There's an abundance of it coalescing over the valley.
No, there's no patch notes on the wiki for this item.
If you're feeling bold.
I wonder where I got 1 in 20. Did someone just tell me that one day and then it just stuck with me? I don't know. Now I don't remember where I got that number. Okay. Muck spreading misinformation. Hey, look, I just fact-checked myself, Smashy. I did it live. I'm better than any presidential candidate. Jeez. Hey, Seitung. Wiki drop rate says 1.28% chance. Still gonna make fun of you? I know you will, Smash. These days, anytime I see one of those EV emotes, I know that there's gonna be some message attached to it that's just an absolute menace. Mukluk 2029. You wouldn't want to vote for me. I would just do things like fix roads and make affordable healthcare and get crap out of education that doesn't make sense, like Common Core math, because it makes me angry. Like, I would hardly spend anything on the military budget. You guys would hate it. You don't want that. Oh, also term limits for Congress. They've been in there too long. They've gone bad. We need to just throw them out. We need a new one. I love math, WTF. Nothing wrong with math. I said I hate Common Core. I have seen no good arguments for why Common Core is better than just the pre-existing math that we had before. Every example of it I've ever seen is it's like 20 more steps to get the same answer.
What do we have here?
No, 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 oh my gosh. Mistakes made. Hello, if I do new character alts, it will be same gold in progress, etc. So all I need to do is maps and hero points. That is correct. Your wallet... Hang on. So if you hit I, your wallet is this thing in the bottom left. All this is shared. But the character will have a blank map because they haven't traveled around. You can also use the bank to move equipment from your old character to the new one if you want to. Need a law that says people older than 50 years should not run for president. I don't know if I agree with that. Like, there are some very intelligent and capable people that are older than 50. But I think we should draw the line at, like, dementia. Like, there should be a cutoff somewhere. There should be a cutoff somewhere. That's 99% of Congress? Yeah. Yep. Use your influence, make Ranger Pets account wide. Alright, Crimson, your first mistake was assuming I have influence. That was your first mistake. What's your game of the year so far? Ooh, it might be Expedition 33. There's three things that jump to my mind when you ask me for what my game of the year is so far. Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Split Fiction. Kazan was incredible. I loved it. I don't think it competes with those other three for a Game of the Year title. But I would say Kazan is probably my new favorite Souls-like game. And that's big praise from me. Hey Muck, returning player here, and I want to say your videos are helpful. Currently working on Dark Harvest achievement. Have you done that one? Dark Harvest. Hang on. It's the collection achievement for the Reaper Greatsword. No, I have not, sorry. Looks cool though. No, I haven't done that one. Souls like mentioned. If Mike becomes president, will sub-gifting and super chat be considered bribes in lobby? If I stop getting subs, I'm gonna have to keep that that presidential money to pay the bills. Can you advise good build for PvE content World v World at the same time for Revenant? So one build for almost all content. I don't main Rev, but my thought process hearing that is how do you want to play? Can you narrow it down a little? Like, do you want to be a support and heal people? Do you want to be a damage dealer? Do you want to be a Vindicator and stomp on their heads like they're Goombas? Do you want to be a Revenant and throw spirits at people? Like, do you have a chosen play style to narrow this down a little bit? Admuck FYI, in case you care, my sister's high school math teacher, she told me the Common Core stuff is actually great when it's taught properly. The issue is that very few teachers teach it properly. It's meant to be complement to the regular subject matter that helps most students to grasp the nuances of topics, but if taught at the primary methodology, it's total crap. Well, this kind of reminds me of what people tell me that if communism is done right, it's good. But just no one's done it right yet. Not saying it's the same thing. Common Core is communism. But boy howdy, the argument sounds similar.
What exactly do you need a hollow protector for? A plow? You will return what's rightfully ours.
If I gave a damn about what's rightfully yours, I wouldn't be too good at my job.
Commie Core? Commie Core. Not defending it, just sharing insider info. No, I get it. I get it. You're fine. Wasn't attacking you, just making a joke.
When life doesn't give you what you need, you just gotta take it for yourself. Life's not fair, so why play by its rules?
Lightning! Stun him before he attacks! Monsoon, watch out!
Focus on the gyros. That should help us destroy his shield.
I'm gonna AoE res here. Boop. Got a few people up.
Gyros. We'll get nowhere with those shielding him. Aim for them first.
Oh, he went invulnerable right when he did my leap attack, so I just went flying through him. CC! What's a good build for soloing Iceroot Saga's Champions Mastery achievements for the Jormag Eyeball Form achievement? Okay, so I have done that, but it's been a while. The main thing I remember is I had to solo some Dragon Response missions. So I needed something that had, you know, a decent amount of self-sustain. I don't remember what I played at the time, but a build like what I'm playing right now. This is Open World Untamed, and it has a lot of lifesteal. This would be totally fine for something like that. But basically, you want to be able to keep yourself alive while doing a decent amount of damage. Let's do it. AoE res there.
Focus on the gyros. That should help us destroy his shield.
CC. Nice. GG. I got a weekly achievement done too. Got some bonus boxes. Sweet.
I'll coordinate returning these items to their owners.
Let's see. Finally got unbanned. Welcome back, Dreamwalker. That robot sure likes the meat and Peter Bro. I feel like Soul Beast is great with open world. I recently tried Untamed. It's definitely more to digest. They're very different. I mean, if you play either one of them and then try to play the other one, it's going to be a bit of a learning curve. They both play quite differently for sure.
Sure, no one will mind us borrowing it for a minute.
Take a drink.
Ministry of Trade will be holding a public forum about the proposed tariffs following the border reopening. I spoke with one business.
I tried it on my Pistol open world Willbender, but it's so squishy, it might give it another shot on my Sally Condi Reaper. But that's my World v World main at the moment, so I guess I need some changes for PvE.
Hello.
I mean, you could just give it a shot without changing anything on the Reaper and just see how it goes. Does Pistol Unload Thief do regen automatically? That's a good one too, if so. Not that I can recall. But you could probably slot that in somewhere. Are you Asura on all your characters? No. There's one super secret incognito character that is taller than the others. Like a tree in a forest. He is hidden very well. Monk, how you doing after the 12-hour stream? My voice is still a bit raspy, but I'm good, thank you. You love that hat? I do love that hat. Someone made me, well, not made me, they sent me. Hang on. I had someone send me a wizard hat IRL. I think this is part of a Gandalf costume. Day 4000, the Asuras still don't notice. I'm right under their nose. Over their nose. The honorary Buka. Let's see. I would imagine it's probably near over. But let's check Thunderhead Keep. I see a tag. Mayhap they are still doing violence. Suddenly intense music. Hello, Wrathbringer. Giant angry turtle. Oh god, there's nowhere to stand. I wonder if I should keep wailing on it or if I should go grab Dragon Blood Spears. Ow. Nope, he's starting to go invuln. Alright, that's it. That's all the spears. Ow. What? I was not in the red. You're a big fat phony. Jadebot, please. I blame EU lag. I was not in the red.
In fact, no, that is not all they've got. Flee for your lives before the brainstorm takes you.
Victoriously plead for our lives, I think he means. Shut up and run, Canuck!
Shut up and run, Canuck! Let's see. Any more rewards I can pick up? I was not in the red every DPS ever. You saw it! I have it recorded! I have receipts! I was clearly not in the red. Blaming EU lag. Question mark. Assuming with each mini expansion, we get a new weapon that gives Warrior 4 more weapons, not including the use of aquatic, what do you think they would do after that? Just give up on Warrior. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There are ways of giving us more custom. Okay. Here's the thing. In each expansion, we get some new way of playing the game in all game modes, right? So, Elite Specializations was Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, End of Dragons. And then Secrets of the Obscure was expanded weapon proficiencies and weapon master training. And then Janthir was the spears. Those are all ways that, those are all things that generated new builds in every single game mode. All right. What else could they do that would generate new builds in every single game mode? Maybe an overhaul on a specialization. Maybe add a new core specialization. You know, things like that. Like, there's other things that they could do that would, you know, shake up the meta in the game across everything. So, yeah, warriors are near the cap on weapons, and I don't think warriors are going to get focus. Like, I'm just imagining a warrior with a spellbook, he'd probably just beat you with it. So, I don't know that they're going to keep doing that. New cloth items in Gem Store. Okay, hang on. Oh, shoot. Oh, it's full. Sure, give me one of those. No, it's full again. There we go. Okay. Great. Bread for the butter. A little bit of flatbread to go with the butter. Thanks. Thanks, Codeword. Managed to get my poosh game. Nice. Thanks for being a positive force to the Guild Wars 2 community. Here's some extra butter for giveaways. Why all the butter? Thanks. Yeah. Giveaway prize. Here, have a great stream, Muck. Hope it's a good prize. Dragon Essence Hammer. Thank you. More butter. Spelled right. Thanks again. Thank you. Okay. Oh my god. So much butter. Let me go put this in the vault. Input on what you said about core specs. They could totally add specs that specialize around specific ailments or effects that occur when you CC. Yes. I love your hat. Oh, thank you. One of my mods sent me this one. I'm pretty sure it's from a Gandalf costume. Alright, let me donate this stuff before I misplace something. think that was everything. Okay. Someone said look in the gem store. Alright, I'm looking. It doesn't look great on a Sarah. Rebel jacket skin. Is that the fawns? Similar. His doesn't have the buckles. Similar. There's more Rebel stuff too. Rebel long and short boots. They're like thigh highs. Nice. Wow, those are some tight leather pants. This thing is just gonna, like, gas everyone else who's on the lake. Haunted ghost skiff. That is a horrifying Springer. Mark, do you have any expectation about discount for expansions? Usually like every 3 months they do discounts. Typically the older stuff is like 50% off. The most recent expansions usually like 20% off maybe. So yeah, I mean it happens often. Every time it happens I usually yell about it because I have a referral code. Dye the jacket red, you can be MJ from Thriller. Michael Jackson? Not just imagining a necromancer with a flesh golem, just Thriller. Likely 1/6 expansion comes out, Janthir Wilds could be slightly discounted. Yeah, Soto is like, the last sale, Janthir wasn't on discount, Soto was 20% off, and everything else was like 50% off. How are you extra bouncy? This place has low gravity. Hot and Path of Fire, sometimes 75% off. Yep. Yep. I picked this just to burn some, what are they called? AA. Now I gotta find something to get it with. Get with it. That's a shield? That ain't gonna block much. Alright. Dagger, greatsword, I guess. There we go. Unlocked. What do you recommend to new players to get? I've been trying to get a few people interested in Guild Wars 2. What do y'all recommend to new players to get? And by that I mean expansions. So, oh man. So, one, if you like Guild Wars 2, every expansion is more Guild Wars 2. Sometimes it's that simple. So, if you're enjoying it, they all offer more content to do. And it is good content. If you are trying to get other players into the game, you mentioned trying to get new people into it. Hang on. Let me see. That right there is a video I have used to convince a lot of people to try out the game. That's my best attempt at getting people into it. But for which expansions should you get? If you just want more stuff to do, just get them in order and play through them for the story. But if there's something specific you want, like let's say for example, you're like, oh wow, I really like the look of Mechanist, a engineer with a robot pet. I want to play that. Well, that was added in End of Dragons, so you would specifically want End of Dragons. So if it were me, I would look through the list of specializations and classes that were added in each expansion, and then that might sway me to buy one before others, just because it would impact my gameplay for the rest of the stuff. The Heart of Thorns about the Fire package will be the most bang for your buck. Yeah, that one gives a lot. Muck, where's Chip? He's asleep somewhere. Gabe hauled him in here and stuck him on my head earlier, so he paid us a brief visit a little while ago. You did that so fast. Were you already picking him up?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here he is. Dreamwalker, here he is. Hang on a sec. Let me do this. I want to say that Gabe is the only one that Chip allows to do this. If I try to pick him up, he runs. Wah. Thanks for the visit. Chunky boy. He's not that chunky. It's just Gabe kind of had him squished into a ball, so he looked fat. He's spying on you, I'm sure. I mean, Gabe's computer that he was playing games on is like 10 feet that way, so he can hear me constantly. Any benefits to having an alt account? There can be. Let's say on your alt account, you log in each day and get the daily rewards. You could spend them, like, you just log in each day and get, like, the Wizard's Vault points, right? You could spend the Wizard's Vault points on, like, Mystic Coins and then mail them to your main account. Now, that's a bit tedious, but if you're willing to do it, yeah, you could basically make it like a little money farm. Not a lot, but it would give you a trickle. But you can do it. Minnie is funny today. He hears you. The other night you couldn't get his attention. Yeah. The other night I was like yelling at him. He didn't listen. Let's see. 2 times the wizard coins. Yeah. You know what? I need something to drink. Hey, if you'll guys give me a minute, I'm going to get a refill. I will be right back, and then we'll continue on. Gabe says that Chip is not a chonker. He says that he is a transformer. And when I asked him to elaborate on that, he said that he's a cat, but he can turn into a loaf, and he can turn into a potat, and he can turn into a long boy. And sometimes he can turn into a chonker. Kind of reminds me of the whole thing where, like, cats are a liquid. It depends on what container you put them in. Did I miss the convergence? Haven't converged today. I just sat back down. I was getting a drink. Can Chip turn into Tetris? I don't know about that one. He paused the chat. No, I forgot. That's going to be a habit I have to build. That was something that no one's ever abused on my stream in 6 years until Sunday with Charmon and that other person. For those who weren't here, I got up to go to the bathroom. And then someone at the stream did a text-to-speech, and they did a cheese emoji like 500 times. So the text-to-speech, while I was up for like 2 minutes, was going cheese emoji, cheese emoji, cheese emoji, cheese emoji, cheese emoji, cheese emoji, for minutes, and just torturing chat. And it finally finished, apparently. Again, I was still up. And then another one started where someone did one that was like European post office emoji, European post office emoji, and it just kept going. And I got back and people were screaming like, Mug, help us, people are leaving. And I'm like, no, what's happening? So apparently, some of y'all cannot be trusted with text-to-speech. They like cheese and post office. Yes, it was like 6 minutes. I don't think it was 6 minutes. I got up and I went to the restroom. I was gone a couple minutes, but definitely should not have happened. Chip definitely can turn into a menace to society because he's orange. Oh my gosh, cat color discrimination. Let's see. Not really any events popping right now that I want to do. I guess I could do a Convergence. Someone requested it. I don't mind. It's easy community content. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? What made name Chip Chip? What mad you? Dreamwalker, I want you to slow down. Type a whole message. He says, I suck. Slow down. Type the whole message. Reread it. And then hit enter. Alright? Okay. While he's doing that. Alright, we had someone request this. Let's see if people want to. We'll test the waters here. I'm making a squad. I'm on EU. If you would like to do Convergence, I'll pay the fee to just instantly pop open one right now. And that's the, there's the thing to copy paste in game or type in game if you would like to join. We'll see if we get enough in here. If we get minimum 20 to 30 people, we could absolutely just go in and knock this out. You were fine 5 to 10 minutes there. Each text-to-speech was over 2 minutes string, and you came back during the third one. No, the third one never played. There was 3, and I interrupted the second one. What made you name Chip Chip? When we got him, I was trying to think of just like a cutesy name, and I remember there was one of my favorite cartoons when I was a little kid. It was Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. I don't know if any of you remember that. Chip and Dale. And because of that, I was like, how about Chip? And my son's like, no, that's stupid. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, how about, and he said something like Hurricane Megatron Death Laser. And I was like, no, that's too long. And he's like, okay, Chip is fine. And I'm like, wait, now you're okay with Chip? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, fine. So we named him Chip. And then later on, I heard him talking to one of his friends. And he's like, yeah, so I named my cat Chip because I like Tostitos. And he looks like a chip. And I was like, wait, my son thinks that we named him this? One, my son thinks he named him that. And two, my son thinks that we named him that because we just really love Tostitos. And I was just like, okay, fine, whatever. Yeah, I was just hungry that day. That's it. I was just hungry. We used to watch Chip and Dale in Russian when I was a kid. Yo, crossing language barriers. I love it. There's some cats that are surprisingly patient. I had a cat that should have mauled me when I was a kid. Well, Chip has grown up around, okay, so Chip he's about the same age as the Streak, right? So he is about 7, which means he has been with Gabe from when Gabe was age 6 to age 13. So, and Gabe isn't rough or hurting him, but as a kid, there were times that he might have gotten a little too rough, and we're like, hey, you need to be more gentle. So I think Chip just got used to Gabe occasionally just scooping him up and doing whatever he wants. It was like, okay, all right. Let's see. Janthir, Convergence. I'm converging. Oh, there we go. We'll see who wants to join. Basically, when Gabe gained sentience, he had a familiar. Yeah. Dude, I remember the first day we had Chip, and he was learning the house. He ran behind the fridge and he hid from us for 5 hours. I let him hang out back there for a while because I wanted him just to be able to have some time alone. But then it was okay, you're getting filthy back there. We got to get you out. So I had to get him out of there. And then we angled the fridge so he couldn't go behind it anymore. Well, take a look at the gold to gem conversion ratio. It looks abnormal on NA at least. Okay, I don't know what's normal because I don't often look at that. but that's what it says for me right now. That's what it shows for me currently. Did Chip ever have more than one brain cell as a kid? Yeah, he was good. I mean, he's honestly, we're really happy with him as a cat, as a member of the family. Like he learned. We successfully taught him things like we don't want you on the kitchen counters, you know. And he doesn't. He like maybe one time every 6 months we might catch him up there. We'll be like and then he'll be like, oh shoot, and he'll jump down. Like, for the most part, the stuff that we told him, like, you know, you could do whatever you want, but don't touch this or this, he doesn't touch it. Like, he's great. Let's see. Private Squad. Remember Muck hates dogs? I don't. I grew I don't know if you're just joking or not, but I'll give you a serious answer. I grew up, most of my childhood, I had a golden Labrador Retriever, and when he passed away, we later got a black lab and also a golden retriever together. The black lab was mine, the golden one was my dad's. And so I had those, and so like those, the first dog and then the two others like back to back was from a young age until like I moved out of my parents' house. So I was around dogs like my whole childhood. I'll say as a kid, loved having a dog. Let's see. Hold on. If you provide quickness, please move to a new group solo. All right, so I'm gonna do this. If you provide alacrity, please pair up with a quickness. I will say as a adult, I have become more of a cat person. Because, you know, like, I would rather have to empty a litter box than I would have to, you know, wake up really early to get the dog outside because it needs to go to the restroom, you know? Or, like, you know, be out with family and be like, hey, I gotta get home before my dog has an accident. Yeah, stuff like that. Like, I like that, you know, if I want to cuddle Chip, I can cuddle Chip. But if I want to just chill, he's fine doing his own thing. You know, we're both kind of hermits, and I love it. So I would say as I have gotten older, I've become more of a cat person because we can both just be alone and it's cool. Or we can hang out together and it's cool, you know? Whereas dogs are very, very social in my experience. They want to be with you. They want to be doing things together all the time. And it requires an amount of energy to do that, which I just feel like I can't devote to the task anymore. DPS, please fill in the groups up to 5 in each. Be alone together? Yeah, yeah. So... and also, you know, just, this is kind of just like a funny thing. Cats, when they come out of the factory, their factory default settings is they're already potty trained and they do most of their self-bathing. That's pretty awesome software. Like, I'm a big fan of those two things, right? I'm a big fan of those two things. But no, I got no problem with dogs. I will say, there's times when, like, okay, chat, my dad is wonderful. I love my dad. His dogs, he has tried to train them, but the end result is they're not well trained. So anytime I go to his house, there's like 3 or 4 dogs, and they constantly like jump all over you. I really don't like that. So sometimes I'm just like, hey, you want to have dinner over at my place? Because I just don't want to get jumped on by his dogs constantly. So there are some dogs that I'm just like, I get annoyed by. But I'm not talking, I'm not just like, oh, I hate all dogs. Like, I love when like a dog will come up to you, like wag its tail, and it's just like, hey, you can pet me if you want. And I'm like, oh, sure, buddy. And I'll give it some pets, you know, just give it some scritches. But when they're like jumping on me, I want to leave. I want to go. Today's a fun day. First, I have Cello Frag doing embedded in my squad. Now I was in your same map instance as a comp for another. It got nearly 2 streamers the same day. I know it's a stupid thing, but it's a fun fact. Hey, if it puts a smile on your face, I'm happy too. Thank you.
transporting parts for a very
Okay. Let's see. Group 2 go west. Group 3 go east. Group 4 maw. Group 5 cavern. Group 6 all the way north. Group 7 keep this camp alive. Other groups split up and help. Reminder, after you dig up Thumper, let's see, reminder, don't stack on Thumper when digging it up or it can bug out. Okay. If it bugs out, we can still get it done, but it adds more time. You know, talking about dogs chat, I'll share with you something that we always did. You know, like, not the song, but actual jingle bells, like those Christmassy bells. What, in my childhood, we hung some of those on the back door, and we trained all the dogs I ever had as a kid. We would train them, like, be like, you want to go outside? And then we would have them, like, boop the bell with their nose and be like, good boy, and then open the door and let them out. And we trained all of them that when they needed to go outside, to ring the bell. So we could be at the other end of the house doing something, and we would hear the bell, and we'd be like, oh, the dog needs to go out. And we would go to the back door. So that was one of my better ideas as a kid. Because, like, I came up with that when I was, like, 6 or something, and then we did that for, like, the next 12 years with every dog we had. All right, so we're gonna wait here while they dig it up. No? Okay, I guess I'll do it. We're all so nervous about bugging it out. Okay, looks like it's like 80%. Need a little bit more. The bells are perfect. My family does that too. Nah, great minds. Great minds think alike. Though I have caught them lying down in front of the bell staring at it and then staring at me. They're just lazy. My wife is deathly allergic to cats, so we have dogs, but I love them. The older one is very well trained. The younger is a work in progress. Yeah. I mean, like, as a kid, you love playing with a dog that's, like, really excitable. As an adult, I think you more appreciate the mellowed out dogs that aren't, like, bouncing off the ceiling. I have a Chihuahua, does not need a super long walk. Got a field outside my house. Peas walks back, done easy. Chihuahuas. You know that meme that's like a Chihuahua is 50% tremble, 50% hate? Every Chihuahua I've ever known has been that, basically. It's 99% hate. Oh, sorry. I was using Common Core math. My current game crashed while we were in the Convergence. What do I do now? Just reconnect. It's not full. You should be able to get back in. EU or NA? I'm on EU currently. EU!
frozen soil fall, allowing the wayfinder to rise once more.
Are Chihuahuas the tiny dogs that, like, their tongues are too big for their freaking head? Like, they often have their tongue just, like, hanging out of the side of their mouth, even when the mouth is closed? Like, one of my grandmas, in the past, had, like, a ton of those. And I remember as a kid always thinking that those, no, it wasn't a pug. I know what a pug is. It was not a pug. It was Chihuahua or something Chihuahua-like. Anyway, I just remember always thinking, like, dang, that thing had some errors when it was getting made. Like, its eyes feel like they're about to pop out of its head. The tongue is just too big. Chihuahuas look like Asura pugs. Asura pugs. Wow. Muk, are you going to do a long day stream for next Tuesday? Oh man, I do believe they mentioned Twitch drops, didn't they? Which means I might be very busy that day. Okay, this thumper is complete, so now we just gotta go help anybody else.
Patrol the mountain diligently.
They're not so tough.
Yeah, if Twitch drops are happening, then yeah, I'll be streaming that as much as I can, because the honest truth is, like, one, I'm going to be excited to play the new content. But even outside of that, Twitch drops are, like, really good for business. So it's silly to not take advantage of that.
The heroes' teamwork was bearing fruit. They were nearly ready to draw out the wicked titan.
Essence.
The frozen soil melted away, allowing the fallen allies to rise. The ground shook under the full force.
Here we go. The Greer or Desi? It's Desi, okay. Alright, red circles are bad, okay. Oh, AoE Res Inc. Oh, someone actually beat me to it. Awesome. Got another mass res enjoyer. I'm leveling a new Mesmer. Very nice watching you while doing this. I'm glad you enjoy it.
Out of my way.
I was definitely not playing a Scourge before internally cries. I am very curious to try out the new Scourge stuff, because, like, I will be sad to see the old stuff go. I 100% agree with that. At the same time, curious how the new staff changes are going to feel, and I do want to try those out.
He sniffed out the direction she fled and gave chase.
Will you try the new Alak Fendi heal? Sure. My first priority when the patch hits is going to be to try out and get guides for stuff that more people are going to care about. So, like the new Leggy backpack. But yeah, I'll try out the new support builds that come out of the patch.
Always rise, and you will always fail.
It will be strange having a healing weapon on Scourge. Yes. Oh, God. Scourge. Nice. I got 5 of those. Scourge is one of the supports in the game that really could use whatever weapon they wanted. Because, like, I would say Torch was often used because it helps with boons a bit. Was it Might Stacks? But other than that, like, they could really use whatever they wanted and get away with it. You could use staff, like, dagger and sword gave a lot of generation of death juice, so that was good. Warhorn for just CC. I wish new Fractal will not be new most hated Fractal ever. Yeah. Yeah, the last few, like Sunclaw and, what else? Lonely Tower. Like, people so often skip them just because they require such a coordinated group that if you're just pugging, it's kind of a nightmare.
The Titan fled once more.
Oh, wow. I mounted and then got hit by lightning and got dismounted.
And then the frozen soil thawed, allowing
Reminder that every time you go through a Titan Stench, you can hit the dodge button. It refills your endurance, so you can basically spam it this whole bit. I think a lot of the people at the back don't know that you could just spam lunge forward right now.
Fight me.
Wish it said Scent and not Titan Stench. Your cat's like, this is awful, and you're like, run toward it. The cat's like, ah. Have you ever reported the mount engage interrupting the unleashed quickness combo? Have I reported it? No, but there's stuff I reported 5 years ago that hasn't been fixed, so I don't know that that would do anything coming from just me. Thing is, the problem is, for those that don't know, when you go from mounted to dismounted, that counts as a weapon swap. So if you've got anything that like goes on cooldown when you weapon swap, it goes on cooldown when you dismount. So if you dismount in combat, like you do the leap in and tackle Decima with your mount, and then that, you know, starts the fight. If you dismount in combat, those traits all go on cooldown. But if you dismount before you get to Decima, then start attacking her manually, I can't save that guy, then you will not waste the cooldowns on the dismount.
The Titan fled once more.
That wall got wrecked. My favorite is still Hollowsmith, not cooling down when mounted, so I do my opener and I immediately overheat. It's kind of obvious to me fiction shouldn't work that way. Yeah. The thing is, I think anything that changes your hotbar, your 1 through 5 get changed, is a dismount. So, like, when a firebrand puts a tome in their hand, for example, or an engineer gets a kit, or you get on a mount, like, all of that counts as a weapon swap. As far as the code of the game goes. I'm not sure how difficult it would be to make it not count dismounting.
I'll take you with me.
And then the frozen soil fall, allowing the wayfinder to rise.
What is convo? They might mean convergence? They might be talking about a convergence. Which is what we're doing right now. This is a Janthir convergence. You can do it! Hey, we res, just in case someone else gets it. Alright, nice. They got res really fast. GG! Well done all, nice job. Easy money. Speaking of Hollowsmith jank, did they ever remove the Forge ability icon flip that stops me from dropping out? Whew. Excuse me. I do not know. I am not fond of playing Hollow, so I haven't played it in a while. Ranger pets get extra skills at PvE. Untamed ranger pets have different buttons. If you've never played Untamed, the UI probably looks different. So to give you an example, if I swap to this, now I'm a druid, the bar looks different. But on Untamed, the bar looks like that. Thank you, lady. Thank you for joining. If the code is claimed to be a walk in the park to change the mounting behavior, not be weapon swap with the spaghetti code. Yeah, the thing is, like, Guild Wars 2 was made, what, 11-something years ago? So, I don't know how scalable the code was at that time. Everyone, if you don't know what's doing Convergence, follow the small thing with a wizard hat. Yep, it'll lead you to victory. Yesterday was confusing for me, Guild Wars 2. One player asked what Untamed sucked, and another said in another town Untamed is OP. I mean, the first guy, I'm guessing, doesn't know how to play it. The second, I would say it's not OP in all game modes, but it's definitely a solid pick. Decade-old game built on an older engine, yeah. Almost 13 years since the Guild Wars 2 beta, yeah. And most of the people that made that code at the beginning don't still work there. Clean code and other fairy tales. There was a thing I saw a while back where it was talking about when like when a writer would be like, hey, I copied your writing, and the other writer will be like, you know, how dare you? How dare you? You that's that's illegal. You can't do that. But then if you've got a programmer, he's like, hey, I copied your code. And the other programmer's just like, that wasn't my code. Because they all just copy stuff from each other. Yeah, I found that on GitHub. It's OP when Mug plays it? I don't know about that. I don't think anybody's ever said that before. Thanks, Mug, for Convergence. You got 2 runes of holding. Nice. Software dev here. I would like to meet the clean code legendary creature. How are Mesmers? The only class I haven't tried. They're good. It really just depends on, is it something you would enjoy? Mesmers can become a Mirage, a Virtuoso, or a Chrono. All play a bit differently. They're all solid. Let's see. Might be too late for this one, we'll see. We'll see if we can get in on that one. Go do this while we wait. That's why we, as coders and programmers, never get the art community for things like tracing, etc. Yeah, it's a whole different thought process. Like, if you're talking about a computer game, people copying code, if it's like for function and you're not just like copying all the programming for like another game entirely, it's often accepted. But if you copy the graphics for your computer game from something else, like is it Marathon? That game that's coming out that just they got caught stealing artwork? Then like everybody is just like, yo, no, that's not acceptable at all. So it's a completely different mindset. Let's see, I think new Mesmer tuning are trying to eliminate Chrono, can basically do everything with just one set of gear. Another scenario, Dev 1, I copied your code, Dev 2, it worked. The entire identity of the game is, yeah, the artwork is up. Marathon stole people's art and even had a guy's logo all over the place, yeah. Muck, what do you think is a cool name for a male Homo sapien? Michael is pretty good. For no reason in particular. Look at Bungie, even they just got some art from a random person. Yeah. Let's see. Number 3 in queue. Don't know if I'll get into that one in time. For now, we'll help with this. John Guild Wars. John Guild Wars. It's him. It's John Guild Wars. Have you seen the images of the new Leggy backpack in the press release? I love it. I have seen images of the backpack in the press release. I'm not sure if that's the Leggy one or not. But I believe I said Char players are going to love this. Are you a Char player?
Be at peace. Your trial is over.
We will need smaller.
Could it viable if ANET upgraded yours 2 to Unreal 5 in the fashion of Arc Ascended? I'm not a programmer, but I heard this discussion from the Dungeon Defenders team once when people were like, why don't you upgrade your stuff from, you know, because it's like on Unreal 1. And they're like, the problem is like when you're, you know, we've been building on this system for so long that, you know, getting it to work on, you know, Unreal 5 or something, it's not starting from 0. You're starting from like -20. Because we have so many years of updates on this old thing that we would have to, like, reverse. And then get it moved over, and then figure out how to redo them all. So, it's almost easier just to make a new game on the engine you want at that point. Be Kind says, at Muck, you know what I told you, right? No. Let's see. Muck, if the untamed ranger pets have 3 skills, does the tamed ranger pet have 6 or 9 skills? They have the same skills. The thing is just untamed has control over these 3, and a normal tamed pet does not. So an untamed pet is more tamed, and you have more control over it. Guild Wars 3, I wanted to have BDO combat and jiggle physics. Funny enough, Guild Wars 1 had jiggle physics. I remember when, shoot, what was the Shining Blades lady's name? When you first meet her and she walks on screen, they had her jiggle, and I remember bursting out laughing, because it was such old graphics. But they had her jiggle, and I was just like, this is hilarious. Livia? Yeah, Livia. BDO combat the best, no tab target. I enjoyed Black Desert Online for about a year. I do think it's kind of a fun game. I don't miss the combat. Live, yeah. Position in Q1. We'll see if I get in there. The grind of pay to win set. Well, yeah, the thing is, like, BDO was a fun game to play on my own time. I think it's a terrible game to stream, unless you're already a huge streamer. Because it's just grinding. Like, you guys would just see me doing the same stuff every single day with no deviation. Hear me out, poached eggs with all the seasonings you can make, eat it with the water. Wait, what? Amok, the whole thing with Untamed is that one of your characters is supposed to be tamed and the other is untamed, so when you go Untamed, your pet gets better tamed than a normal pet. No, whether the pet is tamed or untamed, you have more buttons to do. You could give it more commands. So the pet is better trained as an Untamed. Which is weird. I donated 40k gold to another streamer because he's a good guy. Cool. I hope you appreciated it. Let's see. Guild Wars 2 don't have jiggle physics because of the Char and the Asura, and no, I'm not joking. I mean, I've never really investigated the history of Guild Wars 2 to jiggle or not to jiggle, so I'll just take your word for it. My dad's workplace is prepping for PHP 8, I think, and there's a lot of complaining. I don't like change. You say that thing, but then you have Pokemon vs. Palworld stuff happening. The Pokemon vs. Palworld stuff thing, I honestly feel like, is Pokemon didn't do something with their IP, and someone else tried to take the idea that people wanted to see a more grown-up version of, and then Pokemon is kind of mad that they did that. Like, oh, hey, how dare they? And then now Pokemon's trying to, like, you know, hit them with any legal action they can. That's how I kind of view that. Because, like, let me ask you this. So some of you may remember a game called Dota, Defense of the Ancients. It was a Warcraft 3 map. It was really popular. Later on, League of Legends copied it. Later on, Dota 2 copied it, you know, because it was the same group from the first one. And then later on, Smite copied it. And later on, okay, and at this point, it's a genre, right? It's a genre of game. Two bases with minions are clashing, heroes spawn on each side, and then they join and tilt the balance of power. You know, that it's become a genre. Yeah, the Dota 1 devs can't go press charges against League of Legends. It's too late for that. It's a whole genre now. So the thing is, if Palworld was able to do what they do, and join Pokemon as game where you throw ball and catch monster and enslave it, then it's just another step toward it becoming a wider genre, and then anybody can do that. Pokemon is trying to kind of keep a lid on that. Even though they're not the first ones that did, there's freaking Monster Rancher and so many others that did that too. But they're trying to keep it as contained as possible so that they still continue to keep having like the only version. But yeah, they're making a lot of really silly patents and stuff, trying to just do anything they can legally to shut Pal World, not shut it down, but to stop it from doing what they're doing. I don't think I can open these. Nope. I joined the map after it was over. Okay. Alright. Dota was never a game, though. It was a mod. Dota was a map in Warcraft 3. Not even a mod. It was a custom map in Warcraft 3. I remember. I played it. But then Blizzard was like, oh, we're taking the rights to this because you made it in our map editor. And the guy was like, what the fuck? And then he went on to make Dota 2 with some other people. It was a custom map, yep. TLDR, Pokemon vs. Power World is about competition in the cutesy critters sector. The copyrights were made after Power content was being developed. Yep. I'm aware. Yeah, they... And the thing is like, in the United States, you can't do that. And what I mean by that is like, okay, let's say someone does something you don't like. You can't pass a law saying that's illegal after they do it and then press charges against them, because they did it before you passed that law, right? And don't get me wrong, the United States doesn't have a legal system I'm bragging about here. I'm using this as an example. With the Pokemon and Power World thing, we're talking about different countries and different laws, and they are passing laws or doing patents basically saying you can't do this after it was already done, and then saying, okay, look what he did, he's a bad boy. And it's just like, are you serious? I'm kind of late to the JW party, is it worth it? Hi, thank you. I'm kind of late to the Janthir Wilds party, just joined a week ago. Is it worth trying to join as heal support for the Convergences, or just Boon DPS? Ophidian, as someone who loves playing support, I would honestly just recommend Boon DPS. You don't need many healers to get through the Convergences. Challenge mode Convergence comes out next week. That might change things, but right now, it's not that difficult. Mug, can you pick an object for me to make in a blender and send to you? Wait, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. Are you gonna blend something? Like you're gonna make a smoothie out of it? Or you say blender like you're gonna make something in 3D? Like, those are very different sentences. That was a sentence. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, what? I was like, oh yeah, just a potato smoothie. Sending you a smoothie. Yeah, I'm so confusing. Blender the 3D software. So, are you, I mean, I like a little dude, big wizard hat. You could do something with that. I don't know. You could just make a potato. Just, there you go. I mean, whatever you like. VTuber bottle muck. We saw something the other day, chat. Hang on, let me see if I can find it again. Hang on. Where is it? Okay. All right. I saw this YouTube short.
People like, but it tastes nasty. You know, like,
hold on. I'm trying to mute her. Okay. So I'm gonna mute it because that's beyond the scope of the point of this. That I saw this YouTube short, and I bookmarked it. This is a VTuber, and her avatar appears to be a plushie. And I'm like, that's really cool. And I'm like, I have a plushie. How do I make him a VTuber avatar? And then I can just hide my ugly face for the rest of my streaming career. That is so cool. So, it has crossed my mind. Haven't pulled the trigger on that idea, but I thought that was really neat. When young guys want to send nudes, all guys want to get some blender base. What? Fro, that is a weird sentence. Japan's copyright system is behind the rest of the world. For them, it's like, oh, we know Nintendo, we like Nintendo, we give them benefit of the doubt. Meanwhile, the copyright office didn't do their job. I'll take your word for it. I haven't done any research on that. I just know that based on where I live, when I hear about that story, I'm like, that sounds insane. You should look up Iron Mouse's plush avatar. I've had people send me a few clips of it. I've seen it. That's the inverse of face reveal. Yes. Well, no, isn't it called? There's already a name for it. It's debut, right? It's when I start hiding and then I put up a little character in front of me. That's my debut. Did you already go over Absolution? We've already put up a video on YouTube. Let me double check. Yeah. It has 29 comments already. I could 3D model the plushie if you want. I don't even know what software to use for such a thing. So I would have a lot to learn. But if you want to try, that right there has all the plushie pictures right there. Oh no. My lunch is leaking. My wife made me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a very generous amount of jelly. And I bit into it and jelly went everywhere. Hang on a second. No. Alright. I rinsed my hands off. Yeah, when the majority of games, I would say, have used systems from other games. Yeah, it's, like, I remember when World of Warcraft first came out, it didn't even have a meal system. They copied that from EverQuest 2. But, you know what? They did it better. After they copied it, they made a better version. Like, games copy from each other all the time. Sometimes it's a bit more obvious, but sometimes it's just like an idea. Like, oh, they've got gliding? Let's do gliding. They have a homestead? Let's make a housing system. I can't believe Mark made his wife make him a sandwich. Such misogyny. Wow. No. No. Thanks for making me sleep to your YouTube voice. Doesn't sound as friendly as I thought it would. I am happy to ASMR you to sleep. Gives me another viewer. Mug, I've been getting into Revenant a lot lately. I'm excited about the upcoming Heal and Alike Vindicator changes. Do you think it's going to be as effective as other Heal or Boon DPS builds we have now? / do you think it will find a place in instance metas? With any healer, the questions are as follows. 1. Does it keep up all the essential boons 100% of the time in tough content? 2. Can it put out enough healing to keep the party alive through Bone Skinner? 3. This is optional. Does it have any good utilities? Things like projectile block, things like a battle res, things like that. If it can do the first 2 though, it'll be viable. Someone made a video about GW2 and said after the Breath of the Wild hype, of course it needs to have gliding. And a lot of comments correct him that Hot came out before Breath of the Wild. Yeah. Yep. Heart of Thorns was the first expansion. That was a very long time ago. That was almost 10 years ago. Question is it a good sandwich? Yeah, it's great. I'm almost done with it. I'm a simple man, chat. I have 2 favorite types of sandwiches. One is peanut butter and jelly. The other is a grilled cheese. Either of those very simple sandwiches will make me very happy with my lunch. Simple, simple man. Those are the only ones? No, I'll eat others. I'm saying those are my favorites. I'm saying if you want to make me my favorite one, the ones that make me the happiest, it's really easy. But yeah, no, there's tons of others I'll eat. All right, what's going on here? I don't know if anyone's doing this event at the moment. Or maybe they're over here on the other side. There's a few people here. I'll join them and see what happens. I need more Mistburn Baron stuff for the upcoming Leggy backpack. G's brother, I'd book an appointment soon and see your options. Is this not right? Hope for the best here. Wait, what's going on? I actually have a problem with my teeth. I can't get a hole in my teeth, but instead I will lose all my teeth. What? I feel like there's a language barrier between the two of us, but ugh. I've had teeth issues in the past. I actually had my first root canal ever in the last year, so I get it. I hope you're able to find a solution. That sounds bad. Breath of the Wild kind of need the traversal. 2TK is where they brought traversal to the max with the machine building. I know of those games, but I haven't played either one. Seen lots of clips, though, of people making very inappropriate machines. Also, I saw a clip of one machine where someone made that played the music from Undertale. Is there a list of materials required for the new Leggy backpack item? No, it's kind of guessing. So, there is a... Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. Mistburn Baron's Mastery does reward a backpack that says it's used for a Janthir Wild Legendary. So, we know you're going to need that. Aside from that, I'm guessing I'm going to need a stack of each of these. That is a guess. And the reason I guess that is because in the... spear, the legendary spear from Janthir, we needed like near a stack of each of the materials from those zones. So we don't have a guaranteed list, but we've got a probable one. Oh, and of course map comp for the new map. Muck, I gave up on the potato and I made a Glock 19. Somehow a Glock is easier to make than a potato. What? Potatoes will grow in a cupboard. Are you saying that a cupboard is better at making potatoes than you? My goodness. Speaking of the new backpack, is it me or we don't have a visual yet? We have... Okay, so there was some press release images for the upcoming patch that comes out next week, and in it there is a... backpack that looks like someone's got void on their back, but it trails downward into almost like a tail. And a lot of people are thinking that that is a Leggy backpack. It's possible. It could also be like a new gem store thing. Ah! You're up to me. I need second ring, not backpack. Well, then you got some options. You want to make a coalescence, or you want to go make a conflux? You can have 2 confluxes. You can't have 2 coalesces. So it's been 2 years of these smaller annual expansions and updates now. How do you feel about them? I'm okay with them. I would say my honest answer, not sponsored to talk about it or anything right now, my honest answer is I'm okay with them. Now, when I think about what we gained, what we lost, right? So getting a smaller expansion each year versus getting a bigger expansion every like 5 years, you know, Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, End of Dragons. The bigger expansions definitely had more content, right? And so far, they definitely had better stories. But there was also, like, during all the 5 years between Path of Fire and End of Dragons, most of the people playing the game thought the game was done. It was a pleasant surprise that they released that. They were like, hey, we got greenlit for another expansion. We were like, oh my god. You know, we thought it was dead game. They were doing Living World, but that was it. Also, like, yes, if you say, okay, before we were getting expansions and Living World, now we're just getting the yearly things, then it does seem like we're getting less. But I will say this, the Living World releases never made any freaking sense. And what I mean by that is they would come out, they'd be free, and then if you didn't get them when they're free, then they got a price tag later. That is the opposite of how it should work. It should be that, like right now, if you bought Heart of Thorns when it came out, it was more expensive. But if you get Heart of Thorns now, it's just a few bucks, and you even get Path of Fire for free at the same time. You get them combined, right? Like, that's what it's supposed to be. The longer something's been out, the cheaper it gets. Not the more expensive it gets if you didn't get it when it was free on day one. That was so weird, and the thing is, they probably lost so much money with that business model. Like, I don't blame them at all for leaving that business model, because it makes no sense. Their biggest customers that they would get sales from, they were giving it away for free, and then they were charging people that showed up late. It just makes no freaking sense. So I'm totally fine with them leaving that business model, even if I stop getting free Living World seasons every few months. Let's see. This game should have a monthly subscription. If it had one from the beginning, I think people might be accepting of it. But if you just added one now, it would kill the player base. So many people would leave. Because right now it has a reputation as being a game you can step away from for months and come back, and it's still here with open arms waiting for you. There's no pressure to play it. It has... They don't raise the level cap, so you don't get like behind or anything like that. So that would be something that if they did it now, it would kill the game. If they had done it from the beginning, maybe. Maybe. The old content cycle is honestly not sustainable as well. Like, it incinerated this now. Yeah, like... I'm the kind of person, if they like just this happened recently. They're like, hey, the new expansion this year, it won't be in August, we gotta push it back a few months. And so many people popped in my chat, like, Muck, what do you think about that? Are you enraged? And I was just like, it's fine. Like, my thought process is, how many times have any of you been excited to play a game, and you got it on day one, and it was really buggy? Like, it needed more time. And you're like, wow, this is awful. Like, I'm happy to just play something else until this is done and ready. That's my output. That's my outlook. That's my viewpoint, right? I am 100% okay with just entertaining myself with a different game until your game is done cooking. You know, until it's ready to go. Like, because first impressions are very, very important, and you only get to do them once. And if it's a bad first impression, there's so many people that just will never come back. Does Muck have a pointy hat in real life? Yes. One of my mods sent me one. I do have one. PoE2 cough. Okay, to be fair, PoE2 is a beta. It's not completely out yet. Ain't it shouldn't rush new expansions with so much of content in previous ones, and if they do that, it might end up in Blizzard's well. Yeah. So here's the thing. So this whole conversation started when someone says, how do you feel about the smaller expansion thing, right? Let me think about it. Okay, Secrets of the Obscure. If I'm comparing it to previous content, what is my biggest complaint? It ain't features. Because the features in Soto were pretty freaking good. All right? Hold on. Let's revisit that real quick, right? So, Soto, what are some of the biggest things in there that I love? One, what it did to Buildcraft. Expanded weapon proficiencies and Weapon Master training. Added so many freaking builds to the game. Okay? New, faster way of getting sky scale. Tons of people love this. Okay? You know what I don't like? The story. The story of Soto. Okay? They're like, oh, you see this? You see this? This is Saris. He's a bad guy. Wow, Saris looks pretty cool. Yeah, he's pretty cool, isn't he? You got him! Who's the big boy? You are, Commander. Yes, you are. What? He's already gone? All right, this is E-Park. E what? You got him! Who's the big boy? You are, Commander. Yes, you are. What? Dude, I had whiplash. Like, they were dying so fast. It was like, wait, what? We fought Joko for like 10 years. What do you mean he's already dead? So, like, they introduced and killed off these villains so rapidly. And then it was like, yeah, these demons, they eat people. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to get in there like Doom Guy. And then they're like, but they've got feelings. What is this, Netflix Castlevania? What do you mean they've got feelings? Like, what? And then we're like, hey, stop eating people. They're like, okay. What? Like, dude, no, I want to go in there and listen to Doom music. What do you mean? What do you mean they've got feelings? And then, like, 1 minute after you end the war between the wizards and the things that have been eating wizards for years, their children are playing with the demons at a pool party that is floating outside of the wizard's tower. Yes, that actually happened. You can look it up. So, yeah. The story, the writing of Soto is the part I disliked. Okay? Also, talking about game mechanics, okay? Game mechanics, right? They introduced sky scales being involved in combat, spitting fireballs and stuff. I was not a fan of that. And the reason for that is lag. In Amnitas, I dislike doing this meta because it's not always on foot. And there's always a cloud of 100 people on sky scales that are flapping in my face. It's like someone's just throwing Skittles in my face the entire time, and I'm just getting beaten to death by wings. Okay? Like, my graphics card is going to die if I do the Amnitas meta again. It's just so much freaking fruity wings just beating me in the head. Okay? Neos is a bit of that, but also this zone is designed to look like the visual representation of depression. It's just like dark, and there's just like gas in the air, and it's just like ash everywhere. It's just like, dude, I just get sad going to friggin' Inner Mayonnaise. I just get sad going there. All right, so like Archipelago, beautiful. Meta, mostly on foot. I dig it. I'm a fan. However, the writing. Chat, do you know what the writing is for Skywatch Archipelago? I'm gonna summarize it. Wizards went, wonder what would have happened if Balthazar won. Makes a pocket dimension of people living their worst lives. I wonder what would have happened if Cantha had been taken over by murder bots and everybody was murdered by murder bots. Pocket dimension of hell. I wonder what would have happened. And that's it. That's it. It's like that meme with like wizards have no sense of right and wrong. The lore of this place is horrifying. Every island is a different wizard just doing like, why would you do that? Like every freaking island here is people living their own personal version of hell because the wizards were just like, I wonder what would happen. Oh, it turns out if Balthazar lived, people had a bad life. You know, and on and on and on. So it's just, the only complaint, like this is a beautiful zone, very cool, nice meta. My only complaint is the lore here is horrifying. But then over here, like honestly, I would think the wizard responsible for this should be one of the villains. I think it would be a better villain than E-Park. Find the wizard who was responsible for this. And then over here, Amnitas, pretty cool. The yoga thing's a bit weird. Again, I dislike the part where everyone's on sky scales because it's too much for my GPU. It doesn't go well. But overall, pretty cool. And then this place is just depressing vibe, so I don't really like going there, and I did the meta like twice. But the writing for it, I think I speak for most of us that we were expecting the demon mommy to betray us at some point, and I was shocked that she didn't. Really? We're fine. Okay, she's fine. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah, sure. We'll just let our kids play with demons from now on. So I mean, the demons are people too thing. Wasn't really a fan of that. Saris was awesome. I wish he'd lived longer. E-Park, I never got to know him. He was dead too fast. So that's it. My main complaint with Soto was not the features. The features were great. It was the writing behind it. That was my issue with it. Let's say Amnesis is ours, even ours, yeah. Yeah. And then Janthir is fine. Janthir, they tried to do something new. I honestly, this thing with Mistburns, where it's non-stop metas no matter what time you go, it's pretty cool. I like that. I think that was a good experiment. I don't know if it's still going to be popping, years from now, but honestly, right now, I kind of like it. Janthir Century is all right. I don't really love it or hate it. And Lowland Shore is cool. Very cozy, very beautiful zone. I think lots of people like this one. Like, I think the people that love playing games like Sims and Farmville really love this zone. And that's okay. That's for them. There's not really a big meta here other than the Bog Queen. And I know a lot of you like the Bog Queen. And then we got the Convergence and stuff like that. Lowland is missing a real meta. It's not missing it. They intentionally didn't make one there. They did a whole article on that a while back. Atmuk, one of the NPC Skywatch quotes is, "It's the least we could do considering we're partially responsible for them existing in the first place." Yeah, partially. I remember that. I was like, partially. Yeah, I also was like, what do you mean partially? You literally made these people. They need to stop doing those daily gathering maps. I think it's fine that Lowland does have a meta. Does Fordant. Yes, Fordant have a meta. You could consider the arena as a meta. Wouldn't have minded the writing if the commander had been more appalled at the wizards. Also, the Heart of the Obscure. They're like, hey, we have this one device that could close portals. New guy. It's yours. Me? What? I just got here. Also, I think they could have done a better job of explaining why I was not allowed to pick up my phone and call in the Pact and just bring over like 30 airships. If I've learned anything in Guild Wars 2, it's that bringing over airships helps. But they were like, no, it's a secret. And I've had some people tell me that in the writing in the game, the little books and stuff you find around, that there's some stuff that I didn't find that explains that, but it wasn't like clearly stated. They created
a reality where Artisu survived to live into a high tech.
Oh, is that the party one? There's like the was it Radanova's Promenade, and then there's this constant partying over there. Except when fighting Mordremoth at Mukluk. I don't think it's a bad story. It was just rushed way too much. I already said it. Yeah, maybe. Like, okay, so we were discussing this once before last year, and I'll revisit that. If they had clearly said something like, the demons are fueled by emotion. The more people that know about them, the stronger they get. The more people that hate them, the stronger they get. The more people that fear them, the stronger they get. We have to do this with a small, excellent group of people, or not at all. Like, if they had said something like that very clearly, I think, like, just openly early in the story, that we could have all latched onto, I think that would have been awesome. I think that would have helped a lot. That would at least explain, while we're not like, yeah, Canuck, yeah, bring over the crew. That right of the Valkyries is freaking 40 bucks. Because like, we have all these connections and dragons at our disposal, and we don't use them. And it seems stupid because they don't give us a good reason for not using them. But if they had said something like along the lines of the crap I just made up, then I think it would have been better received. At least like from that element of the story. We still got the psychopath who made this. I feel it's mostly just the wizards thinking they can keep a lid on it by themselves. It's kind of obvious it's the vibe the devs wanted, but our characters have no clue about all that. Yeah. Why aren't we just calling it the pack? That's my point! Would you consider Art of the Obscure a good expansion despite its flaws? You mean Secrets of the Obscure? So I've mentioned, I love all the features that came out in Soto. The expanded weapon proficiencies, weapon master training, the new way of getting the sky scale, the convergences, the new strike missions, all of those. I love them. So good. We've even got the one of the best pocket shops in the game that you get from Soto. So nice. If I'm nitpicking here, the thing I didn't like about Soto was the story. That's it, and that's what I've been talking about. That's what I've been, ranting about. Is I think the story could have been so much better. As a new player, I still don't know what Janthir is even about. Is it something for Guild Wars 1 players, not for new, and this is bad? Partly. So Janthir, just to give you like a 1 minute rundown. We just finished Soto. We just fought demons. There's still bad demons. We know that Coden live up here. Send a delegation up here to warn them about the demon attacks and ask them if they would like to join our coalition. We go there. Hello, bears. They're like, hello, here's a free war claw. Hey, thanks, buddy. Put that in my pocket. Hey, if y'all get here and fight any demons, we're here to help with that. Oh, yeah, those are easy. We already killed them. Oh. Okay, well, I guess we'll just go. We are having a Titan problem, though. Word? Okay. Sure. How can we help with that? All right, so and then we fight Titans. Okay, so that's basically it. We went there, we knew people lived there, we were gonna warn them about demons. They had no problem with demons because they're really freaking strong, but they're having an issue with Titans, so we helped them with the Titans. That is Janthir Wilds. That's basically it. Now, while there, we find lots of information about stuff that connected to the White Mantle and the Mersat and the Seers, which was a Guild Wars 1 thing. Lorenity had to explain a lot of that to me because I barely remembered Guild Wars 1. Now, for example, Mistburn Barons, I think if you didn't play Guild Wars 1, this is story-wise, this is super confusing. Still a fun meta. Very confusing lore-wise if you didn't play the first game. They made it easier to get the Sky Scale in Soto, but later if you want to get legendary accessories, you still have to get the Guild Sky Scale, which is weird. Yeah. I'd only recommend Soto for the mechanics, but skip the story. Yeah, I mean, you can still play it once for the rewards, but I didn't even know the Barons were from Guild Wars 1. Well, the whole thing is like, okay, see this valley? The reason it kills you is it's full of spectral agony, which is basically like it's the equivalent of a chemical weapon that the Mersat made, I think? Yeah, I think the Mersat made it. The thing is that Guild Wars 2, in Guild Wars 1, if they hit you with the spell Spectral Agony, it hit you for like a truck. It would usually one-hit kill you. But then there was a thing you could get called Infusion that was a buff to your armor that made you take like 90% less damage. Still stung, wasn't an instant kill. In this game, they've already kind of done that. Fractals. Fractals have an agony system, and you block it with infusions. But then they decided to use it again, and so this valley is full of spectral agony from when they used the weapon in the past, and you can't survive down there. But yeah, it's basically, it kills you in the most painful way possible. That's what it is, basically. That's what it is. Living World Season 2, I believe, delves into it a bit with Bloodstone, Finn, and Lazarus. Right. Which was a long time ago. I don't remember it that well. Can't we use Agony Resistance to get there? Your Agony Resistance from Fractals has no effect here. It's just a whole different thing. Season 3. Okay, Season 3. People always want a reason for the suspension of disbelief. Yes. Also, airships are weak against plants. Also, yes. You could get ascended at that point, which really hurt badly. But what are all of the Mersat beings? There's not enough of an explanation. The main thing I know is that Mersat people have 4 arms and Seer people have 4 arms, and they really hate that other people have 4 arms. So they have fought to the death. They had a big war, and there's not many survivors left of either side. I know the general consensus is that the Mersat were mostly evil, except for Mabon. He was a good boy who did nothing wrong. And the only Seer I've ever met is Garin, so I don't know much about them. Does anyone know why I get a blank screen after logging into ANET on the website? Never happened before this. No. My first thought is try a different browser. I've not heard of that issue, though. I'm spitballing. Sounds like they were Mersat, they just weren't evil, they weren't around Tyrion. Guild Wars 1 had some Seers. Didn't Guild Wars 1 have one Seer? The one that infused your armor, or were there others? Mersat will be the good guys, they'll play in the pool next to the Seers. Shut up. It crescendos. I always thought the pack's initial attack on Mordremoth was kind of boneheaded. Let's take a bunch of airships randomly fired in the Maguma jungle. I actually don't. So here's the thing. They did not know that Mordremoth could make trees grow at lightning speed and impale airships. They also did not know that he could do what he did to the Sylvari, right? So if you think the enemy is the physical manifestation of a bunch of plants, I honestly think setting fire to them is a pretty okay plan. They were airborne, out of reach of the plants, they thought. They didn't have any reason to think that there was bad people on their ships with them. And then all of a sudden, like, all of those assumptions were thrown out the window. Suddenly there were people attacking them on their ships. That was unexpected. The plants suddenly grew at Mach 2, impaling the ships. No one freaking expected that. Like, I think staying airborne above the murder jungle and trying to burn it, like, even in hindsight, that doesn't sound like a bad idea, considering the enemy was the jungle itself. Dragon of Jungle grows trees fast, if only we could have thunk. Up until that point, I don't think they had ever seen him grow trees fast. I don't think at that point in time, like, before that, I don't think they'd ever seen him flex like that. Like, that was a new card he played. The Silver Waste kinda did. The Silver Waste, some giant vines came out and crushed buildings, but they didn't, like, impale a moving airship. Like, it was still, like, on another level. Amok, was the new Necromancer reworked talent good or bad for a lock heal? It comes out 1 week from today, Runa, and I am looking forward to trying it out, but it's not out yet. So the short answer is I don't currently know. We need to test it. What are we most excited about for the update next Tuesday? I mean, I'm definitely going to be playing the new story first.
82 months.
Do the new story, start figuring out the new legendary backpack, you know, stuff like that. AoE Rose. Boop. You're all up. Got there just in time. The skills and balance patch is not next Tuesday. Oh, my apologies. Okay, sorry. I was giving you the time for the Janthir update next week. No one knew the connection to Sylvari and Mordremoth at that time either. Yeah. So, like, I honestly think that moment was not badly written. You know, even in hindsight. Because, like, based on what they knew, I think they had a good plan. And then the enemy played a couple of cards that they had never played before. And then it was like, oh my god, objective survive. Also, I'll say that to this day, the cutscene at the beginning of Heart of Thorns is one of my favorite cutscenes. Like, it's just, it's one of those that just screams, like, this is Guild Wars 2 when you look at the artwork and stuff for it. Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns cinematic. Let's see if I can find it. The Packed Fleet Destruction. Yeah, this is it. Yeah. Hang on. After we kill this guy, I'm gonna show it. I love Aurene seeing the future again and again. That was a good one too, yeah.
She's lost her grip on the construct. Now's your chance. Shift your focus to her.
Intellect, you can banish me, but not my gift. My gift to this world is eternal. When the world is quiet, the choir will continue its everlasting lament.
Bonk. Does she know she's dead yet? There we go. It took a second. Alright, let me get this loot before the agony comes back. If you're a wizard from one of those demi-plane creators, would you make a demi-plane where Bram never existed? Dude, I don't want the responsibility for making even a demi-plane. Like, oh, hey, here's a bunch of life that I'm now responsible for. Dude, I'm responsible for my kid. That's enough. Like, just having a bunch more of that? Oh my gosh. Good points. I can see that. The true origins of the Sylvari being tied to Mordremoth is also one of the coolest racial tie-ins I've seen in any MMO. The lines being different, playing as Sylvari via other races and hot were nice touch. Yeah. Who say anything about taking responsibility? Well, sorry, I've got more morals than wizards. Time for bed, see y'all. See you, be kind. Mark doesn't fish ever. It's true. I think there's like one NPC that says the demi-planes weren't supposed to be real at all, but Suwon's death injected a ton of magic into the simulations and made them real. I've never heard that. That would tweak my opinion a little bit. Still horrible simulations to run. Okay, hang on a sec. We gotta reminisce here for a second, chat. Heart of Thorns opening cinematic. Keep in mind, we could have called these guys to join us in Soto at any time. They all blew up? Yeah, but we made new ones. See, how do you predict that it's gonna do that? Is it Logan the only one alive? Nah, no. Zoja's alive. There's Zoja and Logan right there. Also Kaith. Was Kaith in that cutscene? I didn't see her. So good. 10 years ago. They should have brought more char. None of that forest would be standing if you had more char. Yeah, char do love their flamethrowers. It's true. That's true. Warclaw Mount is open to players the last expansion except World. Yes, you in Janthir Wilds, if you didn't already have the Warclaw, you get it in the story in like chapter 2. Like really, really early on. And then there's also it got an overhaul in its skills for open world. So for example, I'm on my Warclaw right now, and you notice I can do like air jumps. Like that is something that was added. So it's like really, really good for open world getting around now. It's difficult to believe that my account is 12 years old. Yeah. Like, Verdant Brink... Hold on, just to show it. Like, I hate running around Verdant Brink. It's a nightmare to traverse. But, like, aesthetically, like, what it looks like, it's one of my favorite zones. So, for those who had never seen it, like, we just saw that cinematic. Like, this is that area.
Technically, the simulations were supposed to be fractals, just like all the other fractals but artificial, so they were supposed to just replay over and over and over for all eternity. What happened when Suwan died was that the fractals were pulled into the main Tyrian reality. So they stopped rewinding to the start every time the simulation was finished. That's why all the people in them became real. It just means that they keep living beyond the point they are supposed to.
See, if that's the case, I think the story needs to do a better job of telling that. Because I did all the hearts. I did the map comp. I did the story. I never heard this. So I'm guessing that was like in a book somewhere that I missed. So I would say the story just needs to do a better job of saying that somewhere. But yeah, this zone, aesthetically, one of my favorites. Actually, like running around and doing stuff here, nightmare. Muck can't read my message. I'm sorry, paper roll. Hang on. Everyone's complaining. Okay. Let's see. They did explain why we can't call them because all the pack people are not prepared for the mind attacks of the demons. Remember, even the commander couldn't handle it at the start of the expansions. They could all die. Long-range gun? I feel like that's still not good enough. Because golems. The Asura do most of their fighting with golems. Like, why can't we send in golems? They're going to mind attack a golem? Like, no, that's not enough. Mordraw said I'm gonna mord, and then he morded all over the place. Having a bit of a time trying to finish Master of the Unseen says I need to find 3 more chests, but I don't know where they are. You could try looking up the achievement on the wiki. It probably has locations. Do we have confirmation yet on whether the new Legika backpack will be tradable? Zeron, I would guess that it will not be. Because so far, there is no tradable legendaries outside of a few weapons in Guild Wars 2. There is no tradable. There's 3 Legi backpacks in the game already. They're not tradable. We already had Legi armor, and when they added Obsidian armor, it remained untradable, just like the other pieces. So I do not think it will be tradable. If it is, I'll be surprised. If it is, I will be surprised. Traveling the zone with the sky scale feels like cheating. I mean, I'm just giving you guys a view right now. You can't trade legendaries? Correct. With the exception of some weapons. They can be traded until they're equipped. Once they're equipped, then it's yours forever. You can't trade it anymore. My friend sent me a screenshot. Looks like it comes with a glider effect, which looks amazing if true. All the Leggy backpacks in the game so far have a glider effect. So, /wiki, Warbringer. Hang on. Okay, so this is the one from World versus World. And here's the glider skin that comes out of it. It's kind of cool. The chains extend, and it does this. And then this is it when it's a backpack. And then the ad infinitum. This is the one from Fractals. I have this one. I never have it displayed. And then this is the one. This is the glider. It like kind of glows and extends out to the side. But yeah, each of them have each of the existing legendary backpacks has a glider
Getting ready
already.
for new content, Keck.
Yes. What's up, Lazman? Thank you for the prime.
Stay on alert. This jungle is hazardous.
Do you think the new Leggy backpack will have dye channels? That's a decent question. Because all of the legendary backpacks that exist already predated when any backpacks had dye channels. That's why some have them and some don't. So it is possible that this backpack could be the first one with dye channels. But it also might not. I don't know. But there's a chance of that, I would say.
Just need to hold this rally point until help arrives.
I have Warbringer glider is cute, but the backpack model for the character is too huge. Some people like showing. It does look pretty ridiculous on a certain. I would say graphic-wise, Warbringer is my favorite, but let me see here. Hang on a sec. Oh my god, really? Hang on, I gotta find the code for it. Copy item link /whisper. Is it 9082? Yeah, 9082. I'm whispering myself. Paste. Okay. And then preview. There. Alright. So that's Warbringer on me. I would totally use this, but it clips through my hat. It's just like impaling my head. Yeah, that's the one from World v World. Did you show Ascension? No, I didn't show Ascension. Hang on. Alright, so Ascension, that's the one from PvP. It's like stained glass. And then the glider skin, it just kind of extends open a bit. That's it. Pick up your character, throw him like a shuriken. There is a shuriken glider. I have that one. I gotta find it. Shoot, what is it called? I don't have many. Ah, there. The giant shuriken glider. Yeah, it's like a backpack, and then when you jump, you see it like goes off your back, and then you leap on it. And that somehow doesn't slice your feet to ribbons. Ascension per wiki has similar model to the Hall of Heroes. I don't know. That I don't know. Okay, let's see. I got a few more minutes. What's going on right now? Shadow Beam? Yeah, sure, Shadow Beam. Let's do something chill. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. It's a giant fidget spinner, Muck. That's how you don't get sliced up. Yeah, I guess. I see some big arms. Oh Lord, he coming. I was like, wow, that didn't hit very hard. Oh yeah, I'm in a newbie zone. I'm like level 10 right now. Is there any images of the backpack? There are images that people are speculating is the backpack, but not 100% sure yet. I like how in this fight, shortest servers are up to their nose in the water. More than my nose. It's over my head. I'm... There's red puddles of nope there. Hey, we res. Boop. Dang it, I'm mostly melee. I can't reach him. Just a hat above the water. Yeah, it's like a shark fin. It's not confirmed as the backpack, though. Yeah, true. It might be the Leggy backpack. It also could be like a new gem store skin or something. It could be either one based on what we know right now. Meh. You need to swap to your rebreather? I have a rebreather equipped. What, do you think of some level 7 character that doesn't have that yet? Hey, we res. Boop. That's 4 people alive. Hopefully they stay that way. Level 80, 10-year-old character that'll rebreathe it. I have met so many people that, like, we're doing fractals, we go to the underwater fractal, and then someone's like, oh, I don't have a rebreather. Leave. Or, oh, I don't have an underwater weapon. Or, oh, my underwater weapon is still the one from level 8. I'm gonna go. It's like, what? And if any of you feel personally attacked by that, you should. New X-Pack Leggy Rebreather. Haven't heard that. I would be down for it, though. I would be down for it. Give me a piece of you to hit. Better than Oops Mechanist can't go underwater by. One last AoE res. Nope, they got it. They got it. GG. Another PvE ring would be nice. I don't know. I mean, they could make... They're making an open world ledgy backpack and armor. It's possible they could do other stuff too. But we've already got access to 2 ledgy rings right now. But we already have access to 3 ledgy backpacks. They're making a 4th one, so who knows. They've certainly set new precedents for that. Gotta figure out how Underwater Heal Herald works. Druid is kind of awkward underwater because you can't use Warhorn. But you can substitute, because Healing Spring doesn't work underwater and Warhorn doesn't work underwater, but Jellyfish, the jellyfish pet, works underwater, obviously. And it can give some regen to your party. So that is helpful. That helps with regen uptime. Spirits work underwater, but they're a little different. And Astroform works underwater. I think the support that's probably the easiest underwater, maybe Scrapper? Because the Scrapper, you can just use Heal Kit. So all your main healing tools are on Heal Kit, and they work underwater. So you're spritzing water at people while underwater, and it works. Mark doesn't have a backpack, he has back warehouse. Look, there's more space, okay? We're fine. The bags are clean. It's fine. Rifle Chrono is fun underwater. You don't have a rifle underwater. Maudry was the first ledgy backpack I made. Maudry's not ledgy, but he is ascended. He's an ascended backpack. How does Vindy work underwater? Is it like a dolphin jumping up out of the water? I don't know. It's like SpongeBob, where there was water underwater. Oh yeah, like the pool. Yeah, I remember there was an episode where like a mom put like floaties on her daughter. She's like, okay, let's do this before you get in the pool. And then she just floated up and just left. Like, okay, I guess go get a new kid now. She gone. You just spin around as Vindy. The Ranger Spirits underwater, for those that don't know, they look like fish. They're fish. Hang on a second. I'm gonna go to Lion's Arch just because there's water there. Alright, so here we are underwater. And if I summon this, for example, it's like a dolphin. And then, let's see. And then if I do the Spirit of Nature, the one that reses people, the big one, it's a whale. It's a whale spirit. If any of you have never seen Underwater Ranger. And then, of course, there's the various underwater pets that you almost never see. Like I said, the jellyfish as a move, where is it? Right here, where it spits out regen on everybody. Which helps if you're healing a party underwater as a druid. The jellyfish can help with that. Can't believe Janthir Door gets skins before mech skins. Dude, I'm telling you, if they wanna just like break all the lore and make big money, they just need to get mech skins that look like 2B. Boom. Absolute degeneracy, and they'd be rolling in cash. If they want it to be less degenerate, make it look like Big O. It's showtime. Playing since release, I did not know that. The way the dolphin was clapping is cute. Time to have an underwater X-Pack. I'd be down for it. I feel like underwater maps have a bad rap in gaming, but I'm a fan. I'd be here for it. I named my ranger shark pet Mr. Cuddles. Oh, mine's name is like Jaws or something. He's not that clever. Not mech sans. No, real talk. Okay, I think there should be some different customization for mech because I'm not a fan of the default look. It's a giant green block that gets in doorways and blocks the path. I do wish there were alternative things that you could do for the appearance of mechs. It doesn't have to be anime girls or anything like that. I wish it had something different.
don't want you to know. But
He said Mexicans? We said we want Mexicans. Vashir was painful. I loved Vashir. That's great. I was one of the only people there. Everyone else went to Mount Hyjal. Dying for die channels or something for Mex. Die channels would be good. But they just, I don't know. The mechs are just so big that when you're in a group with mechanists, like all you see is like big green robots the whole time. How about a Gundam skin? I'd be down for it. That would be a little immersion breaking though. I think Ranger is a fun class in underwater combat. There's so many goofy moves in underwater combat. Necromancer's Spear summons a horde of underwater shrimp. Sorry, undead underwater shrimp that swarm the enemy. They've got one where they make a tombstone and chain it to the enemy and it pulls them down to the ocean floor. Like there's some goofy class moves underwater. I would try Mechanist if I could have anything but the Jade Mech. Bashir was annoying with targeted AoE spells like Warlock DK. Plush mounts are fine. Plush mount? Yeah, plush mount's fine. In the underwater expansion, they could upgrade Skimmer underwater the way they upgraded Warclaw. Undead shrimp fried rice. I don't know. They already added a quest to the game to get underwater traversal on your skimmer. So if they were to make a expansion where you got that at the beginning, then they would kind of just make it to where you wouldn't need the old one, I think. Well, it kind of be like the Sky Scale, where you just have 2 ways to get it, I guess. Fire Ellie underwater, boil the water around your enemy. Dude, honestly, I think that's awesome. Like, the fact that when you've got a mage on land, they shoot a fireball, but underwater, they shoot jets of boiling water. I think that's cool. Like, it's still temperature control. Yeah, you can't, like, make the flame erupt underwater, but you're still gonna freaking burn them. I think that's good flavor. I think that looks nice. The Eel quest is a classic, once more with Eeling. I forgot there was a quest to upgrade the skimmer. It wouldn't originally have speed underwater. The skimmer didn't originally go underwater at all. It skimmed. That's it, it skimmed. It would skim over the surface of water, quicksand, things like that. But it couldn't go underwater. If you went underwater, you got dismounted on it. So they added underwater skimmer quest line, which I've got a video for somewhere, later on. I want Scarlet Etherblade scheme mech so bad, like similar to the old Lion's Court bosses. Oh, the curvy robots? I don't blame you. Those are some nice looking robots. Okay. What if they added a diving mount other than skimmer? They have, the turtle. The turtle can go underwater too. So we've already got 2 mounts that go underwater. I don't know if they'll add another one. Let's see. Okay. All right, chat. It's about that time. I think that's a good stop point. I think we were caught up on all the questions. Chat, you guys have been awesome. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope y'all had fun. A few plugs on my way out. If you happen to be new here, my name is Muck. I stream every evening and every weekday morning. I will be back in about 5 hours for the evening stream on the Guild Wars 2 servers. I will be doing like half Guild Wars 2 tonight and then half something else. Our other projects include Baldur's Gate 3 Honor Mode and Doom the Dark Ages.
The creepiest of Azeroth's creatures. Sure, there are those who pretend that they don't mind them, and others who actually claim to favor them. They are lying. Truth be told, no one likes sea.
Okay. Anyway, thank you for the bits, Master Manuel. We're talking about Azeroth. That's a different planet. Anyway, yeah, we'll be back tonight, Guild Wars 2 on the NA servers, and then after a few hours, we're going to be swapping over to either Doom the Dark Ages or Baldur's Gate Honor Mode, which is our current projects. Tomorrow morning, I'll be back at, for the same time slot. If you wish to join me, we're working on a playthrough of Age of Wonders 4. Also tomorrow, we have a sponsored segment, so 2 hours of tomorrow morning's stream was sponsored by Dune Awakening. Really easy ask. All they want us to do is watch their 2-hour stream where they are going to be showing off their new game. I looked at their game. I thought it looked pretty cool. It reminded me a lot of Valheim or Enshrouded or V Rising. It's like a combat survival open world type thing. I thought it looked pretty neat, so I agreed to it. So going to be watching that also tomorrow morning, and then I'll have a nice giveaway for you guys afterward. I'll have like $100 in gift cards for you. So if you want to join in on that, you can do that. But yeah, with that, thank you guys for being here. As always, hit the follow button on Twitch, subscribe to the YouTubes. There's links to both of those in the chat. A special thank you to the patrons that keep my channel alive. I could not do this without their support. And with all of that said, let me find someone in the Guild Wars 2 category on the Twitch side to raid. Let's see. Looks like Laura's live. I'll read Laura. Lorana T. I'll read Lorana T. We'll get someone else next time. I try to get Laura once a week, Noxxi once a week. There's a few people I make the rounds of. All right. See you guys over there. Have a good rest of your day. I'll be back in 5 hours. See ya.